Hello everybody and welcome inside Ray Fisher Stadium here at the Wilpon Baseball Softball Complex on the campus of the University of Michigan in Ann Arbor for WCBN's coverage of Michigan baseball. I'm Austin Falco, alongside me Jerry Goosenberg, bringing you the first half of today's action between Game 1 of a three-game series between the Penn State Nittany Lions and the red-hot Michigan Wolverines, coming in with a 17-game win streak on what is an absolutely gorgeous day here in Ann Arbor.
Yeah, Austin. It's 56 degrees, 9-mile-per-hour winds, 22% humidity, and bright blue skies out here today in Ann Arbor, which comes as quite a surprise after last week when, you know, the game on Saturday against the Maryland Terrapins was postponed until Sunday. Then you had to have that game postponed for like 4 or 5 hours until it was finally played, and then had to be canceled after 8 innings because Michigan had to, Maryland had to get on their bus to go to the airport. So, you know, a whole game was canceled due to the field conditions and the precipitation, but none of that taking place today, as it seems as though summer may finally be coming here in Ann Arbor.
For Penn State, some of the first three batters of the ball game to the plate here in the first at least. It'll be Jordan Bowersox, the center fielder. Batting second, the catcher Ryan Sloniger, and the third baseman Connor Kleeman bats in the third spot in the order. They will face Tommy Henry for the Wolverines, the Friday starter this season. Henry coming in 6-0 record in 9 starts, has a 2.72 ERA. On the season, 52 strikeouts compared to just 17 walks. Opponents hit just 200 against the sophomore lefty for the Wolverines.
Yeah, this is the guy here for the Wolverines, or at least he was supposed to be the guy for the coming in. Not that he hasn't performed, but just that they have another guy named Ben Dragani who's outperforming him this year.
Lefty Henry fires the first pitch to Jordan Bowersox, the righty, low and outside on the fastball for ball one.
Yeah, as I was saying about Tommy Henry with a 6-0 record, won his last 6 decisions in his past 6 games, actually.
Second pitch of the ball game bounces off the plate and skips away. It'll be ball 2, and the count goes to 2-0.
Yeah, Henry not having a bad season per se, as he's actually doing very well, 6-0, 2.72 ERA. But you got the guy who has the most, the lowest ERA in the Big Ten.
Bowersox lines one through the gap into left center field. That was going to go all the way to the wall. Out there it's Miles Lewis Fields, throws in towards second, but not going to be close enough to get Bowersox, so he leads off the ball game with a screeching line drive into left field for the first hit of the ball game.
Yeah, right as we're trying to praise Tommy Henry here, and gives off, you know, a fastball right down the middle, so maybe a little inside. Nice piece of hitting there by Bowersox, able to pull his hands inside and crush one down the line, gets to the wall. Nice double for him. But as I was saying before, Tommy Henry is the guy coming in, but Dragani with a 1.38 ERA leads the Big Ten, ranked 19th nationally, and also leads the Big Ten with a 167 opposing batting average. So really for Michigan pitching this year, at least for the Friday and Saturday starters, everything does seem to be clicking.
Tommy Henry in a bit of a jam here to start things off. To get up the leadoff double, he'll face the left-handed hitting catcher Ryan Sloniger. Sloniger squares to bunt, takes a pitch that ends up being called a strike by home plate umpire Perry Costello.
Yeah, that pitch was a fastball down the middle. I don't really know what happened there, why that ball could not be caught by Brock Keener, but regardless, it is a 0-1 count here to Sloniger.
Sophomore lefty Henry against the junior left-handed hitting Sloniger. Bats left, throws right for a catcher. 0-1 pitch, squares to bunt again, and bunts it foul near the Wolverine dugout, so he'll be down in the count 0-2.
Sloniger, a junior from Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania. If that name sounds familiar, maybe because our good friend Phil is from there. Groundhog Day came up a few months ago here. You know, always a good sight to see there in Punxsutawney. So that's where Sloniger's from. He's not the only person in the starting lineup for Penn State from Punxsutawney. Also, Braxton Gividoni is from there as well.
Did Phil predict 2 more months of winter? That's what it's felt like here.
Yeah, maybe he just said for Ann Arbor there'll be 2 more months, I'll tell you that.
But Sloniger, meanwhile, the other Punxsutawney native, swings and misses at a breaking ball from Tommy Henry for strike number 3. So 3 pitches there, and 1 out in the inning. They bring up the 3-hitter Connor Kleeman.
Yeah, that's a big time out there for Tommy Henry. Runner on second. Nobody out to start the game. If you're Penn State, you're trying to get some sort of run production against a team in Michigan that's won their past 17 games. Sloniger tries to bunt, can't get it down the first 2 times. Then he winds up striking out. Just a horrible at bat there by Sloniger, and great if you're Tommy Henry in Michigan.
Right-handed hitting Kleeman takes the first pitch from Henry outside for a ball, 1-0.
Kleeman, a junior from Royersford, Pennsylvania. He's only 5'10 and 185, but don't let his small size fool you, as he does lead the team with 4 home runs this year and also has 14 RBIs.
Sneaky power there out of the third baseman for Penn State. He takes the second pitch of the at-bat, a little bit high and maybe a bit off the plate as well away. That'll bring the count to 2 balls and no strikes. Kleeman coming into this one batting .259, but a .356 on base percentage. A lot of patient hitters, especially near the top of this Penn State lineup.
A.K. Thomas really holding on Bowersox at second.
2-0 pitch is hit high in the air towards right field, ranging over near the line is Bullock. He's going to run out of room, though, as that one gets into the Penn State bullpen for a foul ball and strike number 1.
If you're Kleeman here, you're trying to think. Henry's pitching it kind of outside, so you try to put a nice ground ball second base. You got A.K. Thomas near the second base bag to keep Bowersox close. So just try to get a nice productive at bat. You know, if it's a ground ball to the right side and Thomas is able to field it, at least you get the runner over to third, but just try to make some productive production here.
Swing and a miss there at a breaking ball from Henry, and that count's evened up at 2-2 now. Henry's got that dynamic fastball breaking ball combo. He pretty much stuck to those 2 pitches, the fastball and the curveball, last year. He's a freshman coming out of the bullpen for head coach Eric Bakich, and earned all Big Ten freshman remarks. This year, mixing in a bit of a changeup to complement those 2 pitches. On the 2-2, he goes to what looks to be that changeup, sinking straight down, but it bounces in the dirt, and Keener stops it. The counts run full 3-2.
Here's where Tommy Henry is going to really prove that he has made that big step and that he is that big-time starting pitcher that we've all been accustomed to him seeing here. 3-2. Let's see if he can either put him away or get a nice ground out for out number 2.
Henry now comes set, glove at the bout, looks back at Bowersox, now fires 3-2 pitch. Called strike 3 on the inside corner. Kleeman thought it was ball 4. He started to walk down to first base, but instead it's strikeout number 2 for Tommy Henry here in the first inning.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I don't know whether that was a strike or not. We are sitting back here right behind home plate. That ball looked a little down. That ball looked a little in. Kleeman certainly thought so. And home plate umpire Perry Costello took a few seconds before he did end up giving that strike 3 call. So a toss to the bat by Kleeman, started to jog down to first base, and about a step or 2 out of the batter's box. He was called out by Perry Costello, so big out there for Michigan. 2 outs now.
After the leadoff double, Henry struck out the next 2 batters, and that'll bring up Parker Hendershot, the designated hitter for Penn State today. He takes the first pitch down for ball 1.
Hendershot, a freshman from Barton, New York. Last year, rated the 9th best player out of the state of New York and the 2nd best third baseman, even though he is designated hitting today.
1-0 pitch. Another one misses low from Henry and brings the count to 2-0.
We've been seeing a lot of low pitches now for Henry after he started a little outside. A lot of pitches, beneath the knees. That one pitch to Kleeman that ended up striking him out looked to be beneath the knees as well, but it was called strike 3, so a little break there for Michigan. But Henry's got to get the ball up here.
Generally, if you're a pitcher, at least missing low, less of a probability of giving up some big damage on some big swings there. There was a big swing from Hendershot at the 2-0 pitch, but it was moving away from him, and he swung through it, so the count goes to 2-1.
Yeah, not necessarily putting the ball up in the, the letters are above the belt where it gets to power zone. But, hopefully he can just get it up, at the knees at least, where it can be getting that strike zone.
Henry's 2-1 pitch now on the way, on the inside corner for strike 2.
And that's the same exact pitch that Perry Costello called Kleeman out on the last at-bat. So it looks like he's going to give that low inside corner pitch that almost hits the knees for right-handed batters. So if you're Penn State or Michigan, both, you got to be watching out for that pitch. And with 2 strikes, be able to put the bat on ball, maybe foul it off.
Pitch number 17 in the inning upcoming. It's a 2-2. And just a bit low on the outside corner there. The Wolverines started jogging back to the dugout. They'll retake their positions here for a full count pitch.
Well, I'll tell you, that pitch wasn't that far. Wasn't that far off the plate. It was close, but especially that now that he's given the inside part of the plate. If you're Michigan, getting a little greedy here, thinking that it's probably just as far off the plate as the one that he's calling inside. So I understand the frustrations.
Payoff pitch from Henry, misses inside for ball 4. So after Henry looked like he might have been poised to get out of the inning just a pitch ago, he walks Hendershot, and now there's a couple runners on with 2 gone in the inning for Curtis Robinson.
Yeah, not the worst idea there with 2 outs if you're Henry. At least now you got to force at any position. Henry tried to go back inside and really get that inside of the plate, which Costello's been calling. Unfortunately, he just missed a little bit in and was not able to get the call there.
First pitch here to Robinson. Catches the outside corner for a strike with the fastball, 0-1.
Another pitch right on the outside corner. So for lefties, that's you got to watch the outside. For righties, got to watch the inside because, man, he is really calling that pitch.
We've gotten the string of underclassmen here in the Penn State lineup. After 3 juniors start the order, it's all freshmen and sophomores from there on out. Hendershot, the man on first base, is a freshman, as is Robinson, who just took the 0-1 pitch outside for a ball, 1-1. And it's sophomores throughout the rest of the lineup with Braxton Jevedoni, Mason Nato, Logan Goodnight, and Joe Wiesenseal.
Yeah, it's been a rough start to his career here for Curtis Robinson, just hitting 162 on the young season. He has 1 home run and 7 RBIs, but he has flashed some speed here as he is 4 for 4 in stolen bases and attempts.
1-1 pitch from Henry, missed low and away for a ball, brings the count to 2-1, and Henry laboring a bit here. He's already thrown 21 pitches here in the first inning.
And with the speed of Bowersox on second base, especially with 2 outs, any ball hit to the outfield should be able to score him from second.
This one will not get to the outfield, though. It's tapped towards Akeo Thomas second. He's going to take this all the way by himself. The speedy second baseman runs to the first base bag on his own. 4 unassisted on the putout, and that will end the inning. So a leadoff goal by Penn State does not come around to hurt Tommy Henry. And Penn State goes down scoreless here in the top of the first. The score still sits at Penn State 0, Michigan 0, coming up to bat here in the bottom of the first on WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan baseball.
Yeah, I don't really know what Jesse Franklin was doing at first base there. The ball was hit in between the first and second baseman, but Franklin didn't really make a move at the ball necessarily. He kind of just sat back, watched Akeo Thomas make the play, and then didn't really go to first. Was hoping Tommy Henry might get there in time. Henry wasn't able to. Akeo Thomas saw that, and using his speed, Thomas was able to go and beat out Robinson at first base. So nice heads-up play there by Akeo Thomas, but not really sure exactly what Franklin was doing in that situation.
And speaking of Akeo Thomas, he will lead things off in the bottom of the first inning for the Wolverines, as he normally does. After him will be the right fielder Christian Bullock. Following Bullock in the 3-hole is the center fielder Jonathan Engelman. Jesse Franklin is the first baseman today, as we just mentioned. He bats 4th. Dominic Clementi, the designated hitter for the Wolverines, bats 5th. Batting 6th and playing left field is Miles Lewis. The third baseman today is Blake Nelson. He bats 7th. The backstop for the Wolverines is Brock Keener in the 8-hole. And rounding out the lineup at number 9 is the shortstop Jack Blomgren. They'll face the junior right-hander for Penn State, Justin Hagenman. Hagenman started 9 games this season. He's 2-4, but with only a 2.92 ERA. Struck out 49, walked 17. Opponents hit .246 against him on this season.
Yeah, I mean, Hagenman is really just having bad luck this year. He's the junior out of Voorhees, New Jersey, which is about 15 minutes away from Philadelphia. 6'3", 205, big guy. He's been a stud this year, really. But unfortunately, 1-10 in the Big Ten, 8-22 is Penn State. So he's gotten unlucky. You look at his last start last Friday against Ohio State, where he gave up. He had 6.1 innings pitched, 4 hits, 1 run, which was unearned, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts, but he got the loss in a 1-0 loss just because Penn State really has not been very good this year.
Hagenman's first pitch to Akeo Thomas is at the belt for strike 1 with the fastball.
Yeah, and to further show Hagenman, the next day on Saturday, Penn State gave up 19 runs to Ohio State. So that really shows that he did have an incredible outing, only giving up 4 hits and 1 unearned run the day before.
His numbers not that far off from the Wolverines starter today, Tommy Henry. The difference really just the records. Tommy Henry sitting at 6-0, Hagenman at 2-4. It's all about run support there. As the next couple pitches from Hagenman to Akeo Thomas missed outside for his balls 1 and 2. Now the 2-1 pitch misses low for ball 3.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really help when 3 of your starting players in the starting lineup are batting below the Mendoza line. And also when the bullpen cannot help you out either.
Akeo Thomas tried to call time there on the 3-1 pitch. Doesn't matter, though, as it misses high for ball 4.
Yeah, he did kind of the David Ortiz there after after he called time and it was not granted to him by Costello. So kind of stepped out of the box as Hagen went to deliver his pitch, and it was high and it ended up being ball four, and he tossed the bat to the side and jogged over to first, reminding me of that David Ortiz play a couple years ago against the Orioles, I believe, where it was a 3-0 pitch and Ortiz kind of just went out of the box and chucked the bat and went over to first base. But Akeo Thomas did not mean it in the same demeanor that Ortiz did back when he did it.
So now the dangerous Akeo Thomas on base to start the ball game for Michigan. Christian Bullock at the plate. Thomas fakes running, and Bullock hits one diving. Stopped by Goodnight at shortstop. He tries to field, but can't get the ball out of his glove. So both runners are going to be safe. That should go as an infield single there for Christian Bullock. Now there's 2 runners on, nobody out for Jonathan Engelman.
Yeah, and that's all Akeo Thomas right there. I mean, good piece of hitting by Christian Bullock. Not going to, take that away from him. But because it was a fake steal there by Akeo Thomas, the shortstop Logan Goodnight starts running over to second base. He tries to come back, but at that point, the ball is hit to second. He has to dive to his gloves, his hand side, does Goodnight, and unable to make a clean play necessarily, or at least right there, and couldn't throw it over to first or second to get either runner out. And it's now first and second, nobody out. Michigan in business here to start the game in the first.
It does indeed go down as an infield single for Bullock. He first pitch to Jonathan Engelman. He's late on the fastball and fouls it off to the right side and into the parking lot for strike number 1.
And we'll go into Akeo Thomas real quick. As he did get on base there, so now it's his 4th straight game getting on base after breaking that streak of what was, I believe, 27 straight games getting on base after 38 consecutive last year. He still doesn't have a hit in his last 4 games, but he's getting on base and he's a speed guy, so you'll love to see it if you're Michigan with Akeo Thomas getting back on track.
Akeo Thomas, really the heart and soul of the Wolverine offense last year and this year as well. When he gets on to lead off a ball game or lead off an inning, he can pretty much manufacture a run all by himself. See him do it several times last year. He'd get on base, he'd steal second, he'd steal third, and score on a sacrifice fly or a routine grounder.
Yeah.
The 0-1 pitch to England missed inside, and now Hageman's ready for the 1-1. He fires. It's line into left field for a base hit. Akeo Thomas is going to try to score from home or from second. The throw will be cut off there, but Bobble that's going to get behind the catcher. Both runners are going to move up to second and third now on the play. It'll go down as an RBI single for Engelman, advancing on what should be an error. Bullock and Engelman both into scoring position.
We were so busy talking about Akeo Thomas and how his speed and everything has been incredible that we didn't really talk about the great season Engelman is having. Jonathan Engelman, while Akeo Thomas might be the boost for this offense in the front of the lineup, Engelman's been getting it done with the bat this year. 344 coming in. That average is going up after a nice hard single to left field. He has 4 home runs, 28 RBIs, absolutely just killing it here for Michigan and continues to do so. And at third base there, Akeo Thomas kind of stopped and held up, and then he ended up being waved around, so it seemed like it was going to be a close play. But left fielder Mason Nadeau was unable to make a strong throw, and then it was bobbled there by the pitcher and ended up going beyond the catcher due to the deflection. So 1 run scored by Michigan, and they're in business again with second and third and nobody out here in the bottom of the first.
And we were speaking of hot hitters there in Jonathan Engelman. Jesse Franklin having himself a season as well. The freshman swings and misses late on a fastball to go down 0-1 in the count, but coming in batting .312, a team leading 6 home runs. He's been absolutely on fire since the Wolverines have come home, and he gets plunked right on the hip. And he's going to load the bases up with nobody out in the inning for Dominic Clementi now.
Yeah, going back to Jesse Franklin here, I mean, hitting him may have been the best option they could have had there. He's coming off being the Big Ten Conference Co-Player and Freshman of the Week, where he hit .625 last weekend against the Terrapins. It was only 2 games, but he had a 1.75 slugging percentage with the team leading 5 hits, 3 doubles, and 2 home runs, so didn't even get any singles of those 5 hits, and led Michigan in RBI and runs scored with 5 RBIs and 3 runs scored. So, I mean, plunking him to load the base with nobody out never seems like a great idea, but I think in this case it was.
And things starting to unravel a bit for Hageman here in just the bottom of the first. He's already given up 1 run, and the bases are loaded with nobody out. So that'll warrant a mound visit here from pitching coach Josh Newman in his first season with the Nittany Lions. Brings the entire infield in as well to talk.
And I think this also shows that Michigan offense is better than Minnesota and Ohio State, or at least in this game they looked that way, because Hageman is the star pitcher for Penn State. They played Ohio State and Minnesota, and Hageman was able to hold Minnesota to 4 runs, 2 earned runs, and was able to hold Ohio State to just one unearned run in his outings the past 2 Fridays. And this time around, Minnesota ranked number 2 in the Big Ten, Ohio State ranked number 5. Those are some top teams there. And now he's playing Michigan, and Michigan is just tearing them apart here. So really showing Michigan's offense is clicking, at least in these past now 18 games it really has.
And the one knock on Michigan throughout this win streak is not beating quality teams. Every team except for Maryland is at an RPI below the 200 mark that they've beaten amongst the 17-game win streak. But Penn State, again, not quite the stacked opponent that would necessarily be a barometer for just how good this Wolverine team is. But again, looking like they're taking care of business early on here, at least offensively. As Clemente takes the first pitch on the outside corner for a strike 0-1.
You can get criticism for not beating great teams. But you have to play the teams you have to play the great teams in order to beat them. And they haven't played the great teams, but they've won 17 straight no matter who you play. That's still incredible to accomplish a feat like that. And they will be playing some better teams in the coming days. So that'll be real tests. But for now, you still got to play great baseball to win 17 straight no matter who it is.
The 0-1 pitch to Clemente was a late swing there by the sophomore DH. He fouled it off to the left side, not a play. So the count's now 0-2. Hagenman looking for the first out of the inning. Tries to paint the outside corner, but misses wide. The count's going to go to 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Yeah, Clemente, another guy who's killing it so far this year. 22 games played, 14 games started. He has a power bat off the bench for a lot of the games. He's batting .328 with a home run, 11 RBIs, and a .483 slugging percentage.
Clemente missed some time due to injury near the beginning of Big Ten play. This one he bounces towards second. It'll be fielded there by Weisselseal. He throws to second for 1. The relay throw to first is not in time. The Wolverines will score a run there on the fielder's choice and go up 2-0 here in the bottom of the first. Still only 1 out and runners on the corners.
Ball hit kind of off the hands there by Clemente. Running hard, was able to beat it out by about a step to avoid double play. So it goes down as an RBI. And a good team at bat there by Clemente, able to put the ball in play, not as a pop-up, and able to get the job done. And 2-0 Michigan, and as usual, they're just getting off to a nice lead, and looking strong here in the beginning.
To bring up Miles Lewis to the dulcet tones of Garth Brooks, the switch-hitting left fielder for the Wolverines, batting from the left side against the right-handed throwing Hagenman. First pitch to him is a check swing. Did not go around and takes the pitch low and outside for ball 1.
Miles Lewis coming into the game with the lowest batting average among all the starters at .229 in 27 games started and 29 games played. He has 2 home runs and 19 RBIs on the season with just a .312 on-base percentage, which is the lowest of all the starters by a good deal.
The 1-0 pitch misses inside as Lewis dances out of the way there, and the count goes to 2-0. Lewis, a bit of the odd man out here over the last week or two.
Yeah, with a right-handed pitcher on the mound, Nuoga will get the night off, or the day off at least, and they'll put in Lewis tonight.
2-0 pitch, bounces in the dirt there. Nice stop by Sloniger to get just enough of it to keep the runners at first and third respectively, but the count's 3-0 on Miles Lewis.
It doesn't really help when you're not throwing too many strikes, as Hagenman has been doing. He hasn't really found the zone, so when he does find the zone, Michigan is ready for it and has been killing it. So pretty much everything clicking here for Michigan, and not as much here for Hagenman and the Nittany Lions.
3-0 pitch to Lewis, misses well high for ball 4. It skips away from Sloniger, but not far enough for Engelman to score. So the bases will once again be loaded here for the second time in the inning. This time it'll be Blake Nelson striding to the plate, looking to do some damage for the Wolverines.
And if you're Hagenman now, you got to realize it's just a 2-0 game. You're 1 pitch potentially from getting out of this. Right as he threw that pitch a little high and Sloniger barely caught it, it popped out of his glove because it was so high in that 3-0 pitch. You could see him get a little frustrated with himself, kind of pop up as he was trying to run towards home plate just in case that ball would get away. But then he totally regained his composure, and we'll see if he can end up closing this one out with minimal damage.
First pitch to Nelson is bounced foul on the left side. Count's going to go to 0-1.
Blake Nelson on the year batting .250 in 24 games played. He has no home runs and 5 RBIs, so a chance to really build that small number of RBIs right here with a big hit.
Nelson, the junior college transfer out of Normandy Park, Washington via South Mountain Community College. Does have himself quite an eye at the plate. 10 walks to 13 strikeouts on the year. It helps his On base percentage get way up there to the .375 mark. He takes the pitch on the inside corner there for strike 2, though, and goes down in the count. No balls and 2 strikes. If you're Nelson here, you just don't want to strike out, at least put something in play and try to get another run across with the bases loaded. Coming set is Hageman. He fires outside on the 0-2 pitch.
And if you're Nelson, you're also looking for that inside pitch. That 0-1 pitch to Nelson was, again, a low and inside pitch that was pretty close to hitting him and was called a strike again. And that last pitch on the outside corner, kind of in the same area on the other side of the plate, and was not called a strike. So if you're Nelson, you're thinking anything on the inside of the plate, even if it's well inside, you got to try to foul off.
1-2 pitch line into left field. Fair on the left field line. 1 run's going to score. Coming around to score will be Clementi as well. Lewis is into third. And Nelson slides into second with a 2 RBI double, and the Wolverines have a 4 spot here in the first inning.
That's a great piece of hitting there by Blake Nelson. Really drove his hands inside that baseball, was able to keep it fair down the left field line on a line drive, and caused a lot of damage here. Now it's 4-0 Michigan. You know, you come in with that approach where you're thinking you can't let anything beat you inside because Perry Costello is calling those pitches for strikes. So if I was going to say what Blake Nelson was thinking there, he was probably thinking, you can't let him beat me inside. I'm going to foul off any kind of pitch. Was able to get his hands inside that baseball that he knew was probably going to be thrown inside, because that's the way to strike these batters out these days with his home plate umpire. And was not only able to put the bat on the ball, but able to hit it hard and down the line for a nice double here to really open things up for Michigan in the top of the first with just 1 out.
That was a good call by you, Jerry, telling him to look out for that inside pitch. He did look out for it indeed, and got a couple of RBIs because of it. That'll be RBIs number 6 and 7 on the season for Blake Nelson, and he'll turn things over to Brock Keener now with a couple of runners in scoring position of his own. Keener takes the first pitch of the at-bat right down the middle for strike 1. Keener, the switch hitter, also batting lefty. Known for his great eye at the plate. Hasn't shown a whole ton of power this season, but definitely appears to have it in him with that 6'1", 200-pound frame. 0-1 pitch to Keener on the outside corner for strike 2.
Keener's really been improving with the bat this year. Just a couple weeks ago, he was down in the 230s, and now he's up to 274. So Keener has had a better approach to the plate. He had a problem earlier this year with kind of rolling over the pitches, but he seemed to have fixed that, and he's looking really better than ever here. The senior from I forgot where he was from actually, but he is a senior.
He lines one towards center field, running in and trying to make a play as Bowersox. He's not going to get there as that one falls in. 1 run's going to score. The throw into the infield will hold Nelson. He had to wait just a second to see if Bowersox was going to grab it. But it will just go down as 1 RBI for Brock Keener on the single. Runners at the corners. Still only 1 out in the inning. The Wolverines lead 5-0 now.
And that was just a bad pitch there by Hageman. You throw two pitches on the outside corner, which you know are being called strikes by home plate umpire Perry Costello. So then, I don't know why he decides with 2 strikes to go inside to try to get Keener, I guess, trying to roll one over on the outside corner to try to kind of cheat him a little bit. But Keener was ready for it, pulled his hands inside, and was able to hit a line shot right up the middle. So that was just a bad pitch by Hageman. You got to go back outside where he hasn't looked too good has Keener.
Pickoff throw keeps Keener close at first base. Runners on the corners, and Jack Blomgren, the 9th batter of the inning, coming to the plate for Michigan here in just the first.
Blomgren batting .230 on the year with a home run and 11 RBIs.
Freshman improving all year long. Takes the first pitch of the at-bat, low and outside in the dirt. Nice stop there by Sloniger, and the count's 1-0. It wasn't long ago Blomgren was batting down in the 180s with an on-base percentage hovering below the 300 mark. About 3 weeks ago, he turned on to another level, has looked so much more comfortable at the plate, has his average up to 230, and most notably that on-base percentage up to 374 as he fouls one off to the left side.
And it's almost hard to realize it just because everybody's been improving. Every single player on this whole team has just looked incredible in the past, 3 or 4 weeks. So while Blomgren's been improving, you got Brock Keener, who's also had his average go about 40 points. You got Jonathan Engelman, who's now at a 344 clip when he was in the 280s or 290s a few weeks ago. Christian Bullock getting on base. Echo Thomas, even though the average isn't there, the on-base percentage is.
The 1-1 pitch is fouled off into the parking lot again here, and the count's going to go 1 ball, 2 strikes on Blomgren.
Jesse Franklin absolutely killing the ball with 2 home runs this last week, getting him co-Big Ten honors and Freshman of the Week.
That was really the mantra coming into the season, was we were looking for improvement out of the Wolverines throughout the season with so much roster turnover. During this 17-game win streak, it appears to have come to fruition as a 1-2 pitch is fouled off on the outside corner again. Blomgren just staying alive there. Count remains 1-2.
So 17 games ago, Michigan lost their home opener to the NAIA team Lawrence Tech, and following that game, Coach Eric Backus just absolutely got into the players because at that point they had a bad record at the time. I forgot.
4-11.
4-11. Their team batting average was about 219.
1-2 pitch called. Strike 3 on the outside corner. So Blomgren goes down looking at the first strikeout of the game for Justin Hagenman. And batting for the second time in this inning now will be Akeo Thomas. The Wolverines have batted around.
Yeah, so anyways, Backus got mad at the team. They lost 8-3. It was terrible. Michigan at 4-11, batting 219, team average 4.66 team ERA. Wouldn't even let the players wear their Michigan apparel for a few days because he was just embarrassed to be part of the team. And I guess that worked because since then they have been on a 17-game win streak. They hit 307 as a team, 457 slugging percentage, and a 213 ERA. So whatever he said really worked.
Thomas Skies went out towards right center field. Easy play for Bauer Sox. He ranges over and puts it away for out number 3. But not before the Wolverines push across 5 runs in the bottom of the first inning and take a 5-0 lead over the Penn State Nittany Lions here on WCBN Sports broadcast of Michigan baseball.
That's the biggest problem for Akeo Thomas this year, and the reason why his average is in the 250s as opposed to 350s has been the past couple years. It's because he's popping everything up. His on-base percentage is fine. He's getting on base plenty. He's stealing bags when he's there. He's walking, but you got to be able to hit the ball on the ground if you're Akeo Thomas because you got to use your legs, make the most out of him. Hitting pop-ups to center and right field and second base, that's not going to do you any good. So he's got to figure out a way to just get on top of that ball or hit some line shots as he's done in previous years, or else that average is just going to continue to get lower and lower.
And worth noting, we talked a little bit about how the Penn State bullpen has been able to help out their starters. We may be seeing that Penn State bullpen earlier rather than later, with Justin Hageman throwing 32 pitches there in that first inning, giving up those 5 runs. Not the start the Nittany Lions were looking for here to begin the weekend.
No, it was not. And if you're the Nittany Lions, your idea was to come out and make a statement in the first game because this is your guy. This is Hageman, and with Dragani on the mound tomorrow, he's looked pretty unhittable. While Henry has also looked unhittable, you're hoping big guy against their big guy, you can make a statement, end the 17-game win streak, and not really play with a lot like having to go against this team with 18 straight wins from then on. But so far it has not looked very good, although there are 8 more innings to play. Crazy things have happened, so you never know what's going to happen. But at least in terms of a start, definitely not what the Nittany Lions were hoping for.
So Braxton Javidoni, Mason Nato, and Logan Goodnight will stride up to the plate here in the second inning for the Nittany Lions, looking to answer the 5 spot put up by the Wolverines in the bottom of the first. Javidoni, the right fielder, hitting right-handed for the Nittany Lions, takes the first pitch from Henry on the outside corner for a strike, 0-1.
Yeah, Javidoni, a sophomore from Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania. Not great results this year. He is hitting just 231. He does have 3 home runs and 6 RBIs. Last year though had a very good year, leading the team in hitting with 287 average, runs with 30, hits with 54, doubles with 10, and total bases with 77. So a great year last year for Javidoni.
0-1 and 1-1 pitches both missed low from Henry. So the count's 2 balls and 1 strikes on Javidoni now.
Yeah, fun fact about Javidoni here, his cousin is actually the backup catcher for the Reds currently, Devin Mesoraco.
The 2-1 pitch catches the outside corner for strike 2.
Yeah, Mesoraco this year not doing too well with 23 plate appearances, a home run and 2 RBIs, but the former All-Star in 2014 when he hit .273 with 25 home runs and 80 RBIs.
That one's grounded out to the shortstop. Blomgren makes the play, throws over the first for out number 1.
Yeah, Giovedoni unable to bring out his inner Devin Mesoraco in that at-bat, as it seems he's been unable to do this whole year, really, after such a good year in his freshman year.
I do remember a couple of years back, Mesoraco really being a presence. It was almost a little bit of a golden age for catchers in the NL Central for a time. There was Yadier Molina, Jonathan Lucroy in the height of his peak. Mesoraco looked great as well. And then Cervelli from Pittsburgh also coming around. And once the Cubs signed Miguel Montero, it looked like just a crop of catchers in that NL Central that was really going to be a force to be reckoned with. And now 3 of 5 have moved on and or have since digressed.
Yeah, especially, I mean, Mesoraco had that 1 year in 2014 where he hit 25 home runs and 80 RBIs. Besides that, he's hit under 10 home runs every other year. So steroids, whether he just saw the ball better that year, I'm not quite sure exactly what it was, but he was kind of a one-year wonder.
Mason Nadeau is at the plate. He takes the first 2 pitches. They split 1-1 in this one. He lines up the middle, or rather bounce up the middle off of Tommy Henry, gets a glove on it, fields, and throws over to first for out number 2.
Yeah, that was more of a look what I found more than anything else there. That ball crushed ground ball up the middle. Tommy Henry puts his leg out of the way, puts his glove in the place of his leg, and the ball happened to find the glove, bounced out of it, went right in front of him, picked it up, and was easily able to throw Nadeau out at first. Excuse me. So 2 quick outs here for Michigan.
That'll bring up the shortstop, Logan Goodnight. The first pitch of the at-bat. Looked like it was a foul ball there on a check swing from Goodnight. So the count's 0-1.
Yeah, let me tell you, it's been mostly good night for Logan this year and the rest of the Penn State team. Good night this year in his limited playing time, which is a .213 average, which for somehow is not even one of the worst in the team. There's still 3 guys who are coming in in the starting lineup who are worse than him in average.
The 0-1 pitch misses low and in for a ball, brings the count to 1 ball and 1 strike on the sophomore shortstop. 1-1 pitch now. He steps out there and gets the end of the bat on it, fouls it off to the right side, not a play for strike 2.
Good night, a sophomore out of Wheeling, West Virginia. Coming out of West Virginia, he was ranked the #1 player in the state, but I'm not sure exactly how impressive that is because I can't really name another player out of West Virginia. But I guess it's got to be at least sort of impressive. The #1 player in the state, I'll tell you that.
He calls time here before the 1-2 pitch from Henry, but good night. A solid year last season as a freshman. He takes the 1-2 pitch outside for a ball, brings the count to 2-2. Very solid defensively as well. He was a starter just as a freshman. Similar to Michigan's Jack Blomgren as well, who's starting because of his defense, and his offense has slowly come around as the 2-2 pitch to Good Night is swung on and missed the breaking ball for out number 3. So a 1-2-3 inning there from Henry. Good shutdown inning after scoring 5. And through an inning and a half, the score remains Michigan 5, Penn State 0 on the official student radio broadcast for Michigan baseball on WCBN Sports.
I don't really know what necessarily Goodnight was looking for, but it was not the inside breaking ball. That I can tell you because he swung about 2 feet above where that ball landed. Goodnight looked, he was swinging at about the letters, and that ball broke and went beneath the knees, and there was just absolutely no chance Goodnight was going to hit that ball at all. Tommy Henry, after a rough start there, putting 2 runners on in the first inning, has settled down now. Just 1 hit in his first 2, and looking like the Tommy Henry that we've come to really know and love. While Hageman, on the other hand, is not looking like the Hageman that he's been this year with 5 runs given up in the first inning. So Michigan so far looking like a team that has won 17 straight. We'll see if that continues here as starting the lineup all over again here with Christian Bullock, number 2 hitter, coming up after Michigan batted around in the first inning.
Yeah, and going back there, Goodnight just did not look comfortable that entire at-bat, whether that's him struggling this season or having to go against a guy like Tommy Henry, who's been working the inside corner to righties very effectively in this ball game. He's got a couple of strikeouts pretty much solely because of working on that inside corner and then pulling the string on hitters or going outside, really mixing things up. But he's established that he's going to use that inside corner that Perry Costello has been giving to the pitchers today and attack that as much as he possibly can, perhaps in the head of Logan Goodnight a little bit there.
Yeah, not just with the fastball, too, with the breaking ball and the changeup, which makes it even harder.
Bullock lines the first pitch on one hop, fielded by the first baseman Robeson. He fields, throws to first, in time. Barely getting Bullock there at first was Robinson. He flipped to Hagenman there, who was covering just barely in time.
Bullock hit a bullet there, I'll tell you that. That ball was crushed. Then first baseman Curtis Robinson, with a nice play on a one hop, was able to field it right kind of in his chest. Ball bounced on the ground. He picked it up. Hageman able to get to first base. A little PFPs perhaps helping that one out, and kind of, I guess, beat Bullock by a step. It looked very, very close. Hard to tell from here in the booth, but they do call him out. Bullock did not seem to really disagree with the call.
Engelman hits one high and deep to left field. That ball is way out of here. Jonathan Engelman, first pitch of the at-bat, deposits one about 375 feet at least over that left field wall, and gives Michigan a 6-0 lead now.
That ball was crushed. As we're done talking about how Bullock crushed the ball, good PFPs. Man, couldn't even blink before that ball was out of this ballpark. A middle-in fastball, not too hard to hit there, especially for a great hitter like Engelman. You know, his second hit of the game. Now he's at 354 in the year, and he absolutely destroyed that ball. That was not a line drive, not a fly ball. That was just a home run ball, is what that one was. That was hit well over the big fence over there in left field. A no doubter, a bat flip right after the hit for Engelman, and one pitch later, it is 6-0 Michigan.
And Mason Nadeau, left fielder, didn't even move. I think he might have glanced to see how far it would have gone over the wall, but that was it. Didn't even bother turning around, didn't bother running back towards that left field wall. As soon as he hit it, everyone in the stadium knew that ball was gone.
I'd like to see the stat cast on that one. I'll tell you that. That ball was absolutely demolished. Wow, Engelman got into that one for his 5th home run of the year, which puts him one behind Jesse Franklin for the team lead.
Jesse Franklin is up to bat right now, so perhaps Hageman a little weary as he fires the first 2 pitches off the plate outside and barely catches the outside corner with the 3rd pitch to bring the count to 2 balls, 1 strike.
I mean, that pitch right there is kind of unfair to Jesse Franklin. It's a fastball that is almost in the other batter's box. I mean, it has been called all night, so if you're Franklin, you got to watch out for it. But with 2-0, you certainly don't swing at that.
With the 2-1 pitch, he did swing at a pitch in a similar spot, maybe a bit more towards that outside corner. He fouled it back to the screen and evened the count up at 2 balls, 2 strikes.
With 2 balls, 2 strikes, unless Hageman, screws up like he did against Brock Keener the other at bat, you're probably going to get a pitch outside. So you just got to think about hitting it to left field, left center field if you're Jesse Franklin.
Trying to go inside and low there was Hageman, perhaps trying to play a little inside-out game, but he misses low and in, and the count's run full.
Hageman, it's kind of an interesting outing for him here. He's not really used to this season. It hasn't struggled in too many outings, but here he is. Just gave up a monster home run to Engelman. Monster first inning for Michigan. See how he gets out of it.
Payoff pitch to Franklin. Foul tip, then out of the glove of Sloniger, so we'll do it again here at 3-2.
Franklin, that was a pitch that Franklin has to drive. With 2 strikes, you're not going to get a much better pitch than that. Fastball right down the middle. And he was on it, just below the ball, barely able to get that bottom of the ball and pop it right out of the catcher's glove to stay alive here at 3-2.
Another 3-2 pitch on the way. Ball 4, low and inside. So Franklin will take his spot at first base now, and another runner on base for the Wolverines with Dominic Clementi coming up to the plate. Worth noting now with Hageman continuing to struggle. He's got 41 pitches in just an inning and a third. Has given up 6 runs. There is action in the Penn State bullpen.
It looks to be Jeff Taylor, the lefty freshman, out there in the bullpen. So I think there's a good chance that he comes in very shortly, especially with 2 left-handed batters coming up right now. I'm kind of surprised they're not taking Hageman out of the game yet. Maybe going to give him another couple chances to figure it out.
He gets another chance here against Clementi, though, and the breaking ball is on the outside corner there for a strike 0-1. Clementi 0 for 1 in the ball game today. Got on base with a fielder's choice, but does have himself a run and an RBI.
It was a good team at bat for Clementi, his last at bat. Going to try to get a pitch to hit here, a pitch to drive, as pretty much all of his teammates have done so far, and continue the rally here.
1 pitch missed low for ball 1. Evens the count up at 1 apiece.
For Michigan, at least, I think they just must be feeling honestly great to play some baseball today. It's finally some good weather. For us, at least in the press box, we got the window all the way down. It hasn't happened at all this year. So Michigan's probably thinking, let's get out there, let's play some ball, it's finally good conditions, let's hit. Haven't been able to feel this good in a while.
Hageman continuing to work the outside corner against the left-handed hitting Clemente, catches it there, and the count's 1-2. Yeah, we do have to keep our eye out today for foul balls coming into the press box, though. Haven't had to deal with it at all this season, but perhaps looking out for it today. Won't have to look out for it there, though, as the 1-2 pitch missed low. It evens the count up at 2 apiece.
I'd trade the having to pay extra watch to try to look out for a foul ball than have it, be 21 degrees and
definitely.
and raining super hard. Not even really playing baseball these past couple weeks.
Coming set now is Hageman. He fires over to first base and chases Franklin back. He dives in safely. Franklin over there on first. Not a huge threat to steal. He's only attempted 2 stolen bases this season. He was successful on 1 of them. And not taking a particularly aggressive lead over there. Here's a 2-2 pitch. Franklin is going on the pitch, then stops about halfway through as the pitch is fouled off from Clemente and gets a piece of Sloniger. Sloniger's going to have to take a second to walk it off before we try another 2-2 pitch.
That was kind of surprising there for Franklin to even, attempt a fake steal there. His right foot wasn't even at the lip in the grass there. Very short lead, a couple feet off the bag, and then he's just 1 for 2 on the season in terms of stolen bases. Not a big speed guy, and he had I guess trying to really fool with the minds here of Penn State and Hageman.
So Clemente, after following that pitch off, is ready for another 2-2 offering from Hageman. Righty comes set, and the pitch. Line into left center field. That's going to be at least 1 base, if not more. Franklin's coming around. That ball's going to get all the way to the wall. Franklin's going to come around to score on that one, and Clemente's going to stop at second base. So Dominic Clemente picks up his second RBI of the day on a 1-run double there into the gap. And the Wolverines lead by a score of 7-0. Now they kick the extra point here in the bottom of the second inning.
That looked like kind of an Ichiro-like swing almost there. That ball is, a little low, little away, but down the middle as well. And Clemente kind of just guided the bat as if he was trying to guide it over the shortstop's head into left center field. Kind of tossed his bat in that direction. Was able to hit a line shot right over the shortstop's head to left center field in the middle of the World and Series. Words, it says 7 College World Series appearances out there, and left center field actually hit the wall after rolling all the way to it. So just a really nice at-bat. Looked like he just guided that ball out there into left center field. RBI double for Clemente, and it's 7-0 Michigan.
Miles Lewis now stepping in. Doesn't have an official at-bat. Didn't take the bat off his shoulder in his last at-bat. He took 4 straight balls and took his base. He does not take the bat off his shoulder here as the first pitch misses well high and away for ball 1.
He's now seen 5 pitches and 5 balls that aren't even close to the plate. None of those have even been ones where he has to think about swinging at him. So if you're Lewis here, there's no point in even trying, especially with his 225 average, just trying to get on base any way he can. Nothing's even close to him.
Got to imagine maybe getting a little bit anxious here as another pitch misses a bit high and a bit outside for ball 2.
You've also got to imagine, a walk here, maybe one more base runner is allowed by Hageman, and then they got to pull the plug on him. He just doesn't have his stuff out there today. You're not going to have it every time out. And unfortunately, against really a hot Michigan lineup, it's just not working today for Hageman and Penn State.
Righty comes set, firing to the switch-hitting Miles Lewis. Misses high again for ball 3, and Lewis has seen 7 balls in his 2 plate appearances so far. It's a 7-0 game, and Hageman doesn't have the control. You got to imagine Miles Lewis would really love a green light here just to do something, but maybe feel good about getting some bat on the ball, but I don't think you could really give it to him here if you're Eric Backett.
I really don't, but maybe you just got to say if it happens to be right there, but it's not even close.
And it isn't even close. That one misses well high for ball 4. Miles Lewis having a pretty easy day at the plate so far. He stood up there with the bat and jogged down to first after 4 pitches each time.
Man, it makes me think that I could be in the baseball team there. I could have done that. It's pretty easy.
So runners at first and second now for Blake Nelson, who's delivered the big blow of the ball game, at least RBIs-wise. He had a 2 RBI double last inning. He's got 2 runners on here, but I don't think he'll be getting his second look here at Justin Hageman, as taking the long, slow walk out to the mound is the Penn State manager, Rob Cooper.
Yeah, the final line here on Hageman. 1.1 innings pitched, 6 hits, 7 runs, all earned. 4 walks, 1 strikeout, and gave up that big home run there to Jonathan Engelman with 51 pitches and 15 batters faced there. So not the best day for Hagenman. His ERA actually skyrocketed here to 4.02. So, coming in with looking pretty nice, 2-4 with a 2.92 ERA. 1.1 innings later, and he's not looking like he's having that great of a year anymore. Unfortunately, that's what one game can do to you here in college.
You got that small sample size. Yeah, it's definitely going to inflate your ERA. Anytime you have a bad outing there, it just does not reflect well at all on your overall stats. For Penn State, though, they'll turn over to the left-handed throwing Jeff Taylor. Taylor making his 7th appearance of the year. He has a 6.48 ERA and 8 1/3 innings worth of work. He struck out 8, walked 5. Opponents hit .290 against the lefty.
Yeah, Taylor, the freshman from Lancaster, Pennsylvania. He is 6'2", 190, so a pretty big guy, the left-handed pitcher.
If you're Rob Cooper, you just want to find someone that can get in there, throw strikes, try to retire these Wolverine batters at this point. But you're already down 7-0 here in the second. A couple more runners on. Both of those, for the record, are Justin Hagenman's base runners. Should they come around to score, that ERA could go up even further. Jeff Taylor looking to prevent that for his Friday starter, who, as you mentioned, has been solid this season, just hasn't gotten the help. Today it was the other way around, just could not find the strike zone consistently, and when he did, the Wolverines really made him pay.
Yeah, not a great day for Hagenman. He didn't really take advantage of the fact that he was getting that call in the outside corner to lefties and inside corner to righties, and when he did pitch it there, Michigan was ready for it. Put their hands inside the baseball and was able to drive it for a nice hit. So now Jeff Taylor's going to try to clean up the mess. Not something he's been too good at this year so far. As in 8.1 innings pitched, he has given up 9 hits and 6 runs, all of which have been earned with 5 walks and 8 strikeouts. So that's a 6.48 ERA, 1.75 WHIP. Not a great year so far for the freshman. We'll see if he can kind of figure it out here in this tough situation here in the second inning.
He'll be a freshman in his first year with the Nittany Lions against the junior college transfer Blake Nelson in his first year with the Wolverines. Nelson deposits a line drive into center field. Coming around to score is Clemente. The throw home is going to be cut off at second, it looks like, actually. So another run here on the very first pitch that Jeff Taylor throws in the ball game. Blake Nelson's 3rd RBI of the day in just the second inning. And the Wolverines now up 8-0, so perhaps instead a 2-point conversion for Michigan.
Yeah, and Michigan kind of telling Penn State, listen, man, Hagenman's a good guy. It's not his fault. Like, we're just a great team, and we're going to hit all your pitchers. It doesn't really matter who you throw out there. 1 pitch later, ball kind of up and in. Not really a great pitch to throw if you're Jeff Taylor, but I get it. He just wants to get out there and try to pound the strike zone, try to make Michigan, get themselves out. But that's not something they've been doing so far today. Nice hit there by Blake Nelson. Line drive right up the middle, easily scoring from second is Jesse Franklin.
Now taking the first pitch of the at-bat here is Brock Keener. Keener batting from the right side for the first time today in the second inning. He was batting from the left side when he deposited an RBI single back in the first inning into center.
And now that average up to 286. So Brock Keener has been really hot as of recent and starting to look like, really good here for Michigan. This
one's going to be lined into left field, his second hit of the ball game, and it's going to be his second RBI as Miles Lewis is waved around. He'll score. The throw goes into third to prevent Nelson from advancing farther. And it's just a hit parade right now for the Wolverines.
Yeah, so far 3 pitches thrown by Jeff Taylor, and you haven't really seen much of a difference. Fastball kind of a little inside, but sort of down the middle. Brock Keener hits the top of the ball, hits it hard, 1 hop. Shortstop Logan Goodnight dives for it, but it's kind of in that hole between short and third, can't get to it. And, with the left fielder playing back there, it's a easy run there for Dominic Clemente.
And now the only Wolverine batter in this starting lineup to not reach base so far in the first couple innings of this ball game, Jack Blomgren.
And that to the plate. That ends up closing the book here on Hagenman. He ends up pitching 1.1 innings and 9 earned runs. So, that ERA just inflating more and more as we speak, but that'll be it for Hageman. Jeff Taylor not able to help him out, and still with 1 out here in the second inning. The Wolverines have 9 and Penn State with nothing.
First pitch to Blomgren missed well high for ball 1. Now the 1-0 pitch, breaking ball, catches the outside corner at the belt for strike 1. Blomgren 0 for 1 in the day, struck out last inning in the first. Again, the only Wolverine batter to not reach base here in the first couple innings.
And the only Wolverine batter to strike out so far today. So Blomgren just trying to get a little something going. You're the only one who hasn't.
He gets this one high in the air to deep left center field, ranging back near the track, near the walls. Nato on the track. He makes the grab. Nelson will tag up from second, though, and go to third. Just missing perhaps a 3-run homer there was Jack Blomgren by, could have been more than about 7 feet.
No, that ball was hammered. It didn't, off the bat, it looked kind of like a pop fly. And then left fielder Mason Nato just kept going back. And around that number 7, where it's a 7 College World Series appearances, deep in left center field, on the warning track, kind of the edge of the warning track too, that ball was caught. So a nice play getting over there by Nato, but if that ball's hit more to the left, over the kind of tall wall there in left field, or even a little further than that around the Barry Larkin sign or Barry Larkin or Jim Abbott numbers, that ball's gone. So, a very unlucky at bat there for Blomgren, who did give that ball a ride.
Yeah, as you mentioned, looked like a pop fly off the bat. Looked like it was going to be a routine fly out. It just kept carrying. There's a slight wind out towards left center, but not enough to really push that ball farther than it was originally going to go.
I mean, it is heating up a little bit in Michigan, so maybe balls that perhaps wouldn't go as far in the previous weeks are going to go a little further now. But it does get caught in the end, so it is the second out of the inning there for Michigan.
So the third plate appearance in just the second inning of the ball game here for Akeo Thomas. Starts off with a strike on the outside corner. 0-1. Thomas 0 for 1 in the day. Walked and flew out back in the first. The 0-1 pitch to Thomas now. Fastball on the outside corner for strike 2 now. It's 0-2.
And this is an important bat here for Akeo Thomas, even though it's 9-0. There shouldn't be too much tension inside of him. He's been on base the past 4 games, but he hasn't gotten a hit in his last 5. And if you're Akeo Thomas, you're just trying to get back on your grind. You're a good hitter. Just try to figure out, hit the top of the baseball, hit the middle of the baseball. Just don't pop up here and don't strike out. Just find a way to get on base here via the base hit to get yourself back on track.
0-2 pitch misses well outside for a ball, brings the count to 1-2. And a key thing for Akeo Thomas, though, is even while he's been struggling to hit the ball, he hasn't expanded his strike zone too much. 27 walks in the year, just 17 strikeouts.
Yeah, it has been via the pop-up and the fly ball that have killed him in recent games.
1-2 pitch line into left field for a base hit. Another run is going to score. The Wolverines are officially at double digits. Going to try to go to third now is Keener. He'll get in there as the throw gets away, and Akeo Thomas, meanwhile, scoots up to second. The Wolverines just merciless here as they are now going to bat around for the second time in as many innings.
That ball was an off-speed pitch there that Akeo Thomas was way out in front of us, kind of just flung his bat out there, was able to make pretty decent contact and get it past a diving Connor Kleeman at third base into left field. Not quite sure why Brock Keener decided to go to third there, as Mason Nato had the ball in his glove as Keener was rounding second base, and Keener not the fastest guy in the world either. The ball beat him. He would have been out, but unfortunately it went past Kleeman over at third base, so Keener sliding in safely to third. Akeo Thomas making it to second on the throw. In a 10-0 game, I don't know why you necessarily do that, but they did, and it worked out.
So it'll be Christian Bullock. This time is the man that gets to bat twice in the inning. He swings and misses at the first pitch he sees for strike number 1. And one of the more impressive things about this 5-run inning here in the second for Michigan, Christian Bullock started this inning with a ground out.
Yeah, I was about to say.
One out.
I was about to say, if he gets out here, he'll have made 2 outs in the inning. It's very rare, but honestly, you'll take it if you're a Bullock as long as your team's scoring runs, as they've gotten 5 in as many innings here.
0-1 pitch now to Bullock, misses high and away for ball number 1. The count's evened up at 1 ball and 1 strike.
Bullock is 1 for 2 on the day. He had a single in the first inning, kind of an infield single it was, off the glove of shortstop Logan Goodnight.
Lefty to lefty, Taylor to Bullock, the 1-1 pitch. Bounce towards second base. Weisenseal is going to field and toss to first to finally end the inning for Penn State. So Bullock makes the first and third outs of the second inning here. But in between those two, Michigan pushes across 5 more runs, and they've doubled their lead here after 2 innings. The score, Penn State 0, Michigan 10.
Yeah, not only did Christian Bullock make the only outs, but he made the only easy outs too, and one of them wasn't even that easy. That ground out that Bullock had, the easy ground out to second base, was really the only non-hard hit ball of the inning, as Bullock did crush that one. His first step at to first base was out by a step, and then the other out was Blomgren's bomb to left center field that was almost a home run and caught at the end of the warning track. So everything has been clicking here for the Michigan offense in these first 2 innings with 10 runs. And just, Tommy Henry's only given up 1 hit, which is, business as usual. It's nothing new. It's only been 2 innings, but this game are already looking like you could put an 18 on it. Don't want to jinx anything, obviously, but a great start here for Michigan. Already knocking Hageman out of the game. Already getting, scratching across a couple runs against relief pitcher Jeff Taylor. So they are just absolutely destroying Penn State in these first couple innings.
Meanwhile, Tommy Henry cruising along on the mound after a leadoff double. He's retired 6 of the last 7 batters he's faced. And I guess to start off the top of the 3rd inning here by facing the 9-hitter in the Penn State order, Joe Riesenseal.
Yeah, Tommy Henry 35 pitches so far today. It seemed like this game has been going on for a while. Yeah, Joe Riesenseal's coming up here, and he hasn't even had an at-bat yet today. We already got the starting pitcher out of the game. We got 10 runs across the board. Riesenseal's looking over here like, man, let me get my swings in today,
Akale Thomas and Christian Bullock have come to the plate 3 times each, and Riesenseal here is just biding his time, waiting for his chance. Made a couple plays out in the field, but otherwise, fairly uneventful day. As you said, hasn't come to the plate yet. This will be the first time striding up to the plate for the sophomore right-hander. Takes the first pitch from Tommy Henry low for ball number 1.
Riesenseal, the sophomore from Strongsville, Ohio. He is batting 194 on the year with no home runs, 7 RBIs in 17 games started and 20 games played.
Henry evens up the count there with the strike 1 pitch on the outside corner, 1-1.
Riesenseal with a 194 average, which is 3rd worst in the starting lineup. There's 2 other guys batting under 194 on the team, which is crazy as we were saying before. But this Penn State team just has not been very good offensively this year.
Part of the reason maybe a swing like that right there. That pitch was low, but Riesenseal chuck swung and went around, so the count's 1-2. And now on 1-2, he takes one off of the hip though, and perhaps bailed out there off the 1-2 pitch. A hit by a pitch gets the leadoff runner on here for Penn State in the 3rd.
And the way that the that umpire's been calling the pitches, if that pitch wouldn't have hit him, that might have been called strike 3. With Riesenseal really getting on the plate there. That pitch was pretty close to the plate. I barely got him there in the shoulder as he turned into it, and that was close, especially the way you call it. I think that ball might have been called strike 3 had it not hit him.
Jordan Bowersox will now come up to the plate. He's 1 for 1 today with a double lead off the ball game. First pitch breaking balls in there for a strike 0-1.
And you heard some woos there in the crowd, as that was a beautiful breaking ball, starting kind of high and ended up going right about the knees. Totally fooled him.
0-1 pitch now. Swing and a miss from Bowersox. Big swing there. Puts him down 0-2 now.
Looked like the changeup there. So really showing him the off speeds there. And now we'll see if he can put him away. Perhaps a fastball here. He's gotten him off balance, but we'll see what goes on.
Henry likes to work quickly when he's in a groove. He comes set. The 0-2 pitch. Fastball called. Strike 3, and Bowersox knew it. Started walking back before the call was even made by Perry Costello. That'll be strikeout number 4 on the day for Tommy Henry. His second one looking. And now with 1 gone in the inning, Ryan Sloniger will come up.
I mean, if you're Bowersox, you got to call timeout there. You could have predicted that one. Tommy Henry was in a groove. You could notice it. He was doing what he wanted to do, totally controlling that at bat. Every pitch was just where he wanted, how he wanted to do it. And Bowersox has got to just stop his momentum a little bit. He didn't do it, and he really had no chance that at bat because Henry really did everything he wanted.
Now lefty against lefty. Henry starts off firing a strike on the outside corner, 0-1.
And that's that pitch that's been called all night long. Henry's really starting to hit his spots these past couple pitches. And if you are Sloniger, you got to call timeout in a second. He's working quick. Here goes Henry again on the mound, and he is just absolutely incredible right now.
0-1 now. Breaking ball almost induces a check swing there, but holding up was Sloniger, so the count's 1-1.
Yeah, that ball's a little off the plate, but still a nice breaking ball there by Henry, especially because you don't want to just always throw it down the strike zone, especially when you've really shown you can throw that breaking ball for a strike. You've proved it to the hitters. Now they know when they see that ball, it could be in the strike zone.
Time call at the plate here by Sloniger, so perhaps doing exactly what you just talked about and trying to knock Tommy Henry out of his rhythm a bit.
Yeah, smart move there by Sloniger.
1-1 pitch now. Misses outside for ball number 2 with the fastball.
And that was kind of a bad play there by catcher Brock Keener, because that ball, while it was a little outside, as you know, it has been called, and Brock Keener just went, didn't really catch it, just kind of caught it and put his glove down at the end. Didn't really give it a chance to be called a strike by the umpire. I think if he leaves his glove there, perhaps that pitch is called strike 2.
Trying to get the call there was Keener on the pitch that missed low and inside to Sloniger. So for one of the only times today, Henry behind in the count, 3-1.
Henry with a walk. That was back in that first inning, which was a little shaky for Tommy Henry, but now he's been in a groove, and now he's 3-1 here.
This one is bounced towards second. Diving stop by K.O. Thomas. Scores to second for 1. The relay throw to first. In time. Double play. And what a play by K.O. Thomas.
And you can see him grinning there. He knows what kind of play he just made there. That was an incredible play. That ball was absolutely hammered there by Sloniger into the hole between first and second. K.O. Thomas will flat-out dive on one bounce, somehow gloved it, and I thought he was going to first. I thought there was no way he could get it to second base, and he turns around, flips it over to shortstop, and Blomgren right there steps on the second base bag and chucks it over to first base. Jesse Franklin there able to put it away and gets him by a few steps over at first base. Absolutely incredible double play there, starting with K.O. Thomas, and somehow he was able to get that play, not only glove it, but make an incredible turnaround throw to second base.
And he used all 5 foot 8 inches of that frame, plus all of his wingspan to really lay out and get that one. He needed every last inch to field that one right in the pocket of the glove. As you mentioned, yeah, I thought he was going to go to first as well. It didn't look like he had a realistic shot at turning 2 there with Weisenseal booking it towards second, but he definitely did make a strong and accurate throw, which allowed Blomgren to make a smooth turn at short, showing why he has been starting out there since the beginning of the season for head coach Eric Bakich was Blomgren.
Yeah, that was a major league play right there, I'll tell you. That had some major league throw on, major league velocity on that from second base. He was kind of almost like very near first base, and he got up and absolutely chucked it when he couldn't even see where second base was. That's all just feel right there. That's K.O. Thomas, who's played here for a while now. He knows how to play. He knows where the bag is. He knows what he's doing, and he just made an absolute perfect throw without even knowing where it was. Kind of twisted around because the dive towards first base brought him away from the bag. Absolutely incredible play by K.O. Thomas here in what's just been an absolutely incredible game by Michigan in all facets of the game.
Yeah, it's only we're about to go into the bottom of the third inning, and it feels like we've seen an entire ball game's worth of production out of Michigan, both offensively and defensively, with Tommy Henry out there and K.O. Thomas sprawling out to make plays.
Yeah, and that's another reason here why Michigan has been on their 18-game win streak, and perhaps Penn State has lost 11 of their last 12. They lost 11 straight until their last game on Wednesday. It's because of these plays that are made. Michigan in a little bit of a jam there, run first, 1 out, and a hard hit ball that could easily make it runners on first and third and 1 out and in business for Penn State. But instead of K.O. Thomas able to turn 2 in an exciting fashion. For Penn State, Christian Bullock hit that ball to shortstop. A diving stop but couldn't make the play was Logan Goodnight. You saw last inning, K.O. Thomas hit a ground line drive sort of third base. A diving try by Connor Kleeman, unable to come up with it. So it's just those kind of plays where Michigan's able to make those plays defensively, and Penn State just is not.
Here in the bottom of the third, looking to continue the Wolverine momentum is Jonathan Engelman. He takes the first 2 pitches of the plate appearance inside, and he's ahead in the count 2-0. Already 2 for 2 on the day with a single and a long home run. He takes the 2-0 pitch now low and inside for ball 3. It's 3-0.
And I don't know whether he's missing his spots or just not trying to throw anything too good to Engelman, because Engelman has looked great in his past few weeks and even better today. Absolutely hammered the ball both times.
The 3-0 pitch right down the middle, and Engelman, as soon as he didn't swing at that, you could tell he definitely wanted to, kicking those hips out, almost simulating exactly what he would have done with that ball. He wanted to put another one over that left field wall. He'll get another chance perhaps on the 3-1 and takes a changeup, it looked like, low for ball 4. So Engelman on base for the third time today in just the third inning of this one. And it'll be Jesse Franklin coming up to the plate after the leadoff runner reaches. Franklin also on base twice today, but with a hit by pitch and a walk.
Yeah,
One of two batters to not put the ball in play for Michigan today, Jesse Franklin and Miles Lewis. Coincidentally, both of them have gotten on base twice already.
Yeah, not too many strikeouts for Penn State today. So everybody's seeming to find some way on. Jesse Franklin so far via the hit by pitch and the walk, but that could be the best method for Penn State also to get this guy on. This guy's coming in the hottest of all of them after last week, winning Big Ten honors against Maryland. So, a 3.12 average coming in. Franklin obviously looking to drive the ball, but now it's 2-0 here on Jesse Franklin. So could be the third time he doesn't take the bat off his shoulder and gets on base today.
Yeah, Taylor does have the lefty-lefty matchup he wants here, but has missed twice away, trying to stay away from the power of Franklin perhaps. But Jesse Franklin's shown this year he can go to that gap in left center and deposit a ball over the wall if he gets one that he can drive out there. Just really impressive showing early on here from the freshman. As the 2-0 pitch is hit high in the air, deep towards center field, ranging back to Bower Sox. He's got the track at the wall. Gone! Just as we were talking about Jesse Franklin being able to drive the ball to all fields, he drives one to straightaway center, just over the 395 sign. And Wolverines now just pouring it on. As soon as Franklin touches the plate, it'll be 12-0 Wolverines.
And Jesse Franklin steps on that plate with authority. And authority it's been for Jesse Franklin. Oh my God, he has absolutely been killing the ball. 625 last week with 2 home runs in the 2 games. Now he's hit 3 home runs in as many games. That was a line drive that went about 2 feet to the left of that 395 sign, just made it over the fence. Center fielder Jordan Bower Sox gave it a good look, was right at the wall, put his glove up, but just went over his glove out there, over the fence, and they have absolutely been killing the ball as Michigan and Jesse Franklin.
Dominic Clemente now, it'll be his turn, this time with the bases cleared for the first time today. Takes the first pitch high and away for a ball, 1-0. Clemente's 1 for 2, has reached twice, scored twice, and driven in 2 runs himself. A check swing this time goes towards first. Robinson fields it and flips to the pitcher Taylor in time to get Clemente for out number 1.
And that's the first time today somebody's looked actually fooled. Up ball, a little off speed. Looked like Clemente wasn't looking for that. Checked his swing and hit a little tapper to first base. And finally, looks like somebody's doing, Taylor's doing something right after absolutely giving up a bomb to Jesse Franklin the pitch before.
So now it will be the last remaining member of the Wolverine order to not put a ball in play today. It's Miles Lewis, who doesn't have an official at bat. He's walked twice, hasn't taken the bat off his shoulder. And that is ball number 9 that Lewis will have seen today, as that one misses high.
And it looks like we have a pitcher warming up in the bullpen. Looks like sophomore Tucker Truebold, the right-handed pitcher, warming up.
Lewis is going to put one in play finally. He swings the bat, fouls it back. And making the play behind home plate is Sloniger on the run. Nice play there. So Miles Lewis finally gets bat on ball, but is retired for out number 2 here in the inning. And we'll bring up Blake Nelson now, the third baseman for Michigan. He's 2 for 2 on the day, double and a single, 3 RBIs and a run scored. Bases empty for him now, 2 gone in the inning, and Penn State hoping to hold Michigan to just 2 this time around. As a breaking ball is in there for strike 1.
That was a good pitch there by Taylor. He's really starting to settle in here, it seems, after struggling for his first 6 or 7 batters, and he's looked pretty good these past few pitches.
Big swing and a miss there from Nelson on the 0-1 pitch, puts him down in the count 0-2 now.
Looked like a couple breaking balls there that Nelson just was not able to get the bat on the ball. First one he took, it was a nice one. Second one, he kind of swung through it. Now he's down 0-2, going to try to find a way on here in this 12-0 game.
Winding up, and the 0-2 pitch from Taylor. Fastball missed well high there. Brings the count to 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Nelson on the year now up to 270 after his 2 for 2 day. The 3 RBIs will get him to 8 on the year after coming in with just 5, but he's really played a nice part in this game so far for Michigan.
1-2 pitch swung on and missed there from Nelson. The ball bounces out of the glove of Sloniger, but he fields and throws down to first. 2-3 on the putout there, and the inning is over, but another big blow there in the third. Michigan doesn't put up a 5 spot as they did the last couple innings. Instead, just a 2 spot on the 2-run home run from Jesse Franklin at the end of 3 innings. The score, Michigan 12, Penn State nothing. Here on the official student radio broadcast from Michigan Baseball on WCBN Sports. I'm Austin Falco alongside Jerry Goosenberg, bringing you through what has been an action-packed first half of this ball game. You'll hear Joseph Gross and Max Brill for the second half of the ball game, if we ever get there at this point, if Michigan decides to maybe let up a little bit and get to that point.
Yeah, it's been an action-packed first couple innings here if you're Michigan. For Penn State, not much happening really, except for on the pitching side, because there's been a lot of pitching action going on. Now it appears they're playing a duck-duck-goose of sorts in the outfield. It's Michigan. So, I guess when you're up 12-0 with 10 hits and score and hit 2 home runs, you can kind of do whatever you want.
One of the more fun things about coming to Ray Fisher Stadium to watch a Michigan baseball game is seeing all the little in-between innings that this team likes to do. They like to stay loose and have fun, something they've definitely been doing over the past month where they have not lost a ball game. You get duck-duck-goose between innings. One of my personal favorites is they all line up like they're at a driving range. And they're just chipping away at what are imaginary golf balls. I don't know how if they determine it all, if someone wins or loses, if they have their imaginary balls close to the pin. I'm not sure exactly, but it's always a little fun activity you like to see here between innings.
And it's always a fun activity no matter what the activity when you've won 17 straight and you're winning 12-0 in your 18th game here if you're Michigan. So really everything clicking, and obviously you're going to try to have a little fun with it when things are going right.
Connor Kleeman will lead things off here in the 4th inning against Tommy Henry, still working for Michigan. Henry's first pitch misses high and away for a ball, 1-0.
Kleeman on the day is 0 for 1. He struck out his first at bat, batting .257 on the season is Kleeman. 4 home runs, 14 RBIs.
He fouls a high fastball right back to the screen and evens the count up at 1-1.
And Kleeman really gave that one a nice little step and kind of wave of the bat before he hit that one, kind of giving an inner Gary Shedlin of sorts. I mean, not Gary Sheffield.
1-1 pitch misses high and away for ball 2, 2-1. Yeah, Kleeman has that little hitch in his swing when he decides to really unload on one. Almost did some damage on that first strike. This one is bounced towards short. Blomgren goes down to a knee to make the play and fires over to first easily for out number 1 here in the 4th.
That ball hit hard right on the screws, but right to Blomgren at shortstop, who kind of just kneeled down in like a catcher's position almost. Fielded that one right about the letters, stood up, made a nice throw to first, easy out for out number 1. So a ball hit hard, but right at guys, which seemingly has happened here for Michigan, which is why they're on such a nice win streak.
Parker Hendershot now with 1 gone in the inning. He takes a breaking ball on the inside corner for strike 1. Hendershot, one of only a few base runners given up by Tommy Henry. He walked back in the first inning. The 0-1 pitch to Hendershot is a fastball that misses low in the dirt for ball 1.
Hendershot, part of a very athletic family. His father played baseball at King's College. His mom swam at Alfred State. His uncle played baseball at Appalachian State, and his grandfather played baseball at Wilkes University. So a lot of baseball going on in that family.
Hendershot pops it up near the right side, giving chase near the dugout was Franklin and Keener and Tommy Henry as well. They all converged, none of them able to quite get there in time. So it'll be a harmless little pop-up there for strike number 2 off the bat of Hendershot.
Yeah, there's a pretty big area there between home plate and first base in terms of foul ground where the Penn State dugout is. That ball is about 2 feet from the dugout. Obviously, Penn State wasn't going to give any tips to any of the players on how close they were, or where the ball is in relation. So a tough play there. Landed a couple feet in front of Franklin, but it is a 1-2 count now. Tommy Henry going to try to put him away. He
winds up in the 1-2 pitch. Swung at and missed. The ball gets away from Keener. He'll chase to the backstop, make a throw to first base, not in time. So Hendershot's going to get on base there, despite Tommy Henry recording his fifth strikeout of the ball game. But runner on base here, only 1 gone
Number 17.
For Curtis Robinson.
Yeah, still only 55 pitches for Tommy Henry, so not super super efficient, but efficient enough where you're going to see him probably get to at least 5 innings before they pull him. It is a 12-0 game, so you don't want to pitch him too much, but at least get him a couple more innings before you take him out and go to the bullpen.
Left-hander hitting Robinson takes a big breaking ball there from Tommy Henry right down the pipe, but couldn't have been expecting that to start off the at-bat, and it's 0-1.
And Tommy Henry started off a few guys now with that breaking ball. That really just establishes that he can throw that breaking ball for a strike, so he's able to later in at-bats throw that away from the zone, and people are forced to swing at it because they know he can do it for a strike.
Bounce towards second. Thomas Fields throws to second for 1. Over to first for out number 3 in the inning. A double play ends the inning. A little more conventional this time around for K.O. Thomas, but the exact same result. And Wolverines get out of the inning there again with no damage done. After 3.5 innings of play, the score remains Michigan 12, Penn State nothing on WCBN sports coverage of Michigan baseball.
It's exactly what you needed for Tommy Henry. He seems to be doing that a lot. He's been getting those ground balls, and Michigan's been making those plays. That's one thing is, no errors for Michigan. They really haven't made too many errors here in their past few games, and that's why they're winning so many of them. You got to just minimize the damage and make some good plays as well. So K.O. Thomas really helping out with that double play last inning, and this inning, ground ball, just easy double play, but they do it. They make the play, and that's what has really separated them from these other teams, which aren't really making all the everyday plays, or at least not getting double plays on balls that could be double plays, just getting the one out. Michigan gets 2, limits the damage that could be done against them, and that's why they've, looking like they're going to win their 18th straight here.
And somewhat, it's not a coincidence that early on in the season, up until the Wolverines were 4-11, it was the Wolverines not making those plays, the routine plays to get out of an inning, or getting a good at-bat when you really need one, taking the right pitches, swinging at the right pitches. They just looked out of sorts for the first month and a half of the season, really. And again, over the last month, they have been just absolutely dialed in all facets, pitching, hitting, fielding, just really getting the job done, almost akin to the Wolverine team we've been accustomed to seeing since head coach Eric Bakich has come to Ann Arbor, especially last season where they won 42 games and were highly successful.
And that's, you say that you're playing these bad teams. They're not necessarily bad. They're not as good as other teams. But if you're Michigan, even if you're going to play those good teams now you're coming in with the confidence that you can make the plays. You can, hit no matter who you're facing out there on the mound. You are a good team. And no matter who you play, you can win any day out there. You have that confidence because you've won 17 straight, and you've had that experience now. So no matter what, whether Michigan plays, great teams or not as good teams, they have that confidence for them to go out and compete every time out there.
Brock Keener leads off things for the Wolverines here after taking the pitch for strike 1. He hits a ground ball into left field for his 3rd single of the ball game. And Michigan once again has the leadoff runner on. That makes it 3 times in 4 innings in this one. But they've started things off with the runner on first base. Now we'll bring up Jack Blomgren now, still hitless and the only Wolverine in the starting lineup to not reach base yet in this ballgame.
And that'll get Brock Keener's average over 300, now batting .308 on the season after a little meager ground ball in between short and third there for his 3rd hit of the game and as many tries.
Off-speed pitch there to Blomgren, catches the inside corner for strike 1, 0-1.
Yeah, Blomgren, his last at-bat, crushed one that could have been the 3rd home run here for the Wolverines on the day, but just barely was caught at the wall in deep left center field.
Coming set now, Taylor to Blomgren, bounces this one in on the 0-1 pitch, so the count goes to 1-1. Every
inning so far, the Michigan Wolverines have seemed to, I think they've got the lead run now, except for the 2nd inning with the first out by Christian Bullock, but the first 3 of the first 4 innings with the leadoff guy on, which just really helps with your getting runs across the board each inning, which has so far been the case here for Michigan.
Blomgren tried to stay back on the off-speed, took a big swing, but barely got it off the end of the bat and fouled it back behind the plate, so the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes now on the freshman. Blomgren 0 for 2. As you mentioned, the long fly out to the wall back in the 2nd, also struck out looking back in the 1st.
Blomgren at .225 with a home run and 11 RBIs on the season.
Swings and bounces a high chopper towards third. Kleeman's not going to have time to go to second with it. He fires to first, though, and is able to get Blomgren by a step for out number 1.
Connor Kleeman got that ball. It was a high bouncer there by Blomgren. Got it, quickly looked over to second, but just a glance, realized he was not going to get Brock Keener and chucked it over to first. Got him, as you said, by a step, maybe even half a step. It was very close at first, as Blomgren was running hard out of the box. But at least there is a runner in scoring position now. Michigan threatening yet again, and top of the lineup coming up with Akeo Thomas, who finally got a hit for his first time in about 5 games there. So see if Akeo Thomas can kind of keep it going and get on for his 3rd time on the day and potentially have his first RBI on the game as well.
First pitch to Thomas is in there for a strike 0-1.
I said first RBI, but he does have an RBI. He got an RBI single his last at bat, so I mean his 2nd RBI.
He is 1 for 2 on the ball game. Single, walk, run scored, RBI. All the Wolverines really filling up the stat sheet today. Thomas is ready for the 0-1, but Taylor steps off towards second base to reset there and perhaps get Keener a little bit closer. Not that Keener's straying too far from that second base bag.
With the hit today, in now 124 at-bats, Akeo Thomas at 258, no home runs, and 16 RBIs.
The 0-1 pitch misses in by the foot of Thomas for ball number 1. Thomas, as you mentioned, just 5'8", not the most intimidating presence in that batter's box, but still one of the heart and soul of this Wolverine offense. Since really, he's come to Ann Arbor, and he takes the 1-1 pitch low and in for ball 2. Really
proving it with the glove as well as the bat today, making that nice play at second base and just doing what you really love to see is that smile that he had. You know, when you make a play and you make a nice play, it's nice to just show a little smile, show you're having some fun out there while you're absolutely dominating in the field, which is nice to see.
2-1 pitch again misses down by the feet of Thomas, and he's ahead in the count 3-1 now.
Thomas could have let that ball hit him. It was right at the feet. Didn't have to move the feet. Probably wouldn't have hurt too bad, but he decided he's gonna get his swings in today. Why not? Feels kind of hot. May as well let that one go. 3-1. See if he can find a nice pitch down the middle to drive.
Now in firm control, the count 3-1 here is Thomas. Taylor comes set, glove by his chest. The 3-1 pitch bounced towards short, making the play in the hole is good night. He bobbles for a second, so he's not going to be able to throw over and get Thomas. We'll see how that one's scored. It would have been a close play either way with how Goodnight had to go into the hole and against the speedy Thomas. But no matter how it's scored, it will result in runners on first and second. Still only 1 gone in the inning for Christian Bullock.
And it is a hit. They give him a hit, which I could agree with that because that would have been a tough throw there for Goodnight because he would have had to get a lot on that. He was going towards third base, as you had said. And with the speedy Thomas already kind of halfway down the line, once Goodnight came up with the ball, the 1 or 2 bobbles, it didn't seem like he was going to get him anyways. So I agree with that hit. The 12th hit on the day now, and second for Akeo Thomas.
Bullock now swings and misses early on an off-speed pitch, and he's down in the count 0-1 now.
Bullock had a rough second inning where he went 0 for 2, but one for 3 on the day here for Bullock with a single. He also scored back in the first inning.
Left-handed hitting sophomore out of Chicago, Illinois, as is Akeo Thomas, the batter before him. Swings and misses at another off-speed pitch on the outside corner, and he's down in the count 0-2 now.
And Christian Bullock's looking like he's trying to hit home run number 3 on the day here for Michigan. I don't really know why he's not the biggest power guy in the world. No home runs this year, but he is absolutely trying to just picks his shoulder up. He's been trying to crush one, and he's been on the outside corner both times too. There's a nice hole in between short and third as Goodnight's holding on Keener at second. So you got to try to just hit a ground ball in the hole and get yourself your second hit of the game and an RBI if you're Christian Bullock. I don't know why he's trying to pull the ball to right field at the moment.
0-2 pitch misses low and away for a ball. 1-2 the count now, and Bullock throughout the year has really shown that he loves that inside pitch. He can really get his hands around. He's struggled sometimes trying to get to that outside pitch. Something he'll definitely develop over his time. Just a sophomore again is Bullock, the first year of him getting significant playing time. He turns on an inside pitch and puts it into right center field. 1 run's going to score. Keener comes around to score as Akeo Thomas strides into third. It's an RBI single there from Christian Bullock, and they score 13-0 Michigan.
See, now I don't understand why that pitch is being thrown there. by Jeff Taylor. You've seen through that whole at bat that Christian Bullock is trying to pull the ball. He's kind of getting off the ball, and his swing path is going up at about the middle up inner part of the plate for a lefty. And then Taylor's been throwing the first two outside. He's had absolutely no chance, has Christian Bullock. And then he throws another one that's kind of up and in, right in the path, the swing path of Christian Bullock. So obviously Christian Bullock's going to go and make solid contact and hit that ball into right center field. I'm not really sure whether that was just a bad call or whether he missed his spot, but he couldn't have thrown that one more in the swing path of Christian Bullock that at bat. And as a result, it's an RBI single for Christian Bullock, his second single of the day.
Runners on first and third. It's Jonathan Engelman taking a big swing at the first pitch he sees in this at-bat and coming up empty. Counts 0-1.
Engelman, the guy you want if you're Michigan right now, and not the guy you want if you're Penn State. But then again, everybody seemed to be the guy you want if you're Michigan today, as they've scored in every single inning, and Engelman is 2 for 2, including a home run today.
0-1 count. Fastball misses high and away for ball number 1. So it's count evened up at 1 ball and 1 strike. As you mentioned, Engelman 2 for 2 on the ball game today. Single and a home run. Also walked. He scored all 3 times he's come to the dish.
The average up to 354 now. On base percentage at 434, as he now has 45 hits on the year and 13 walks. Absolutely killing it today. His 2 RBIs now brings him up to 30 RBIs on the year, which is way more than anybody else. Jesse Franklin has 25 RBIs now, so it's 5 more than the next highest, but still absolutely great.
After taking ball too low, Engelman hits one high and deep towards center, but ranging over is Bowersox into the left center field gap to make the grab. But Engelman will get an RBI for that nice swing on a ball as Akeo Thomas tags up and scores with only now 2 gone in the inning. So a sacrifice fly. Engelman's average won't take a hit there, and he'll pick up his 3rd RBI of the ballgame, 31st on the season. Put the Wolverines ahead here, 14-0.
You're almost thinking like, man, that was bad for Engelman because he didn't get a base hit because you're so used to seeing him get hits, but that was a curveball. Hit a nice line shot into left center field and got the job done and got the sac fly, but just something seems a little wrong there because you just expect him to get on base every single time. You know, I mean, got to give him a sac fly, I guess, every once in a while, right?
And a first pitch swing in there is Jesse Franklin. He puts the ball into right field, a line drive. Bullock will motor around second and into third base. So a single puts runners at the corners once again. Jesse Franklin on base for the 4th time in the ball game today.
And this 3-4 combo today has been absolutely lethal. 3 for 3, 4 for 4, 2 home runs, 5 RBIs, and a couple of 4 walks, I believe now, maybe 3 walks. They are absolutely destroying this team. Is Michigan's 3-4 combination. Not to say the rest of the guys haven't been destroying, because the entire team has, but batting 1,000 and on base percentage of 1,000 is Engelman and Franklin today.
Now with 2 gone in the inning, runners at the corners is Dominic Clementi. Clementi takes the first pitch on the outside corner for strike 1. Clementi just 1 for 3 on the ball game today, so a bit of a slacker there is Clementi, I guess.
Yeah, man, he only got 1. He only had 1 double. Man, he's just screwing up today. Only 2 RBIs.
2 RBIs, 2 runs scored as he takes the 0-1 pitch outside for a ball, 1-1.
Clementi has a real good opportunity here to get even some more damage done. He has had production all across the board here with his 1 hit, 2 runs, 2 RBIs, and his 3 at-bats. And, runners on base again has really have been every time for Clementi, considering he's hitting behind these 3-4 hitters.
Swinging late there on the fastball and fouling it back behind the plate near the Wolverine dugout is Clementi, so he'll be down in the count 1-2 now. Penn State with a chance to get out of the 4th inning again, just allowing 2 runs, which at this point, it's been a win for Penn State pitching in this ballgame.
Yeah, so far they've been pretty consistent. Michigan has the first 2 and the next 2, 5-5 and then 2-2. So if history tells us anything here, they will probably be getting Clementi out, but you never know. You never know.
Choking up at the bat now is the lefty Clementi. You see lefty Taylor now delivers a 1-2 pitch. Lined up off of Taylor and bouncing towards third base. Cleveland makes a barehanded play, fires to first, not in time, and the throw gets past the first baseman Robinson. So that's going to go as a RBI single, you'd have to believe, as Franklin then moves up to third on the error. But a scalding line drive up the middle. Hopefully Taylor's all right on that one.
Yeah, Taylor looks like he'll be all right. That ball was absolutely hammered. It looked like it hit him kind of in the side, but That ball had up the middle written all over it until, Taylor's body got in the way. The pitching coach, trainer, nobody's coming out right now, so it looks like he's going to be all right. Taking a little breather and he'll be okay. But, that was a bad play there by third baseman Connor Kleeman because you didn't really have a shot. That ball was going down the line sort of in between home plate and third base. Kleeman went up, barehanded it, and off balance, tried to make a throw to first base. Went way past the first baseman, allowing runners on first and third now as Franklin was able to get to third on the error there by Kleeman.
Miles Lewis will now stride up to the plate and take high end away for ball one. So just like his previous 3 at-bats, he starts off with ahead in the count 1-0. Lewis 0 for 1 in the day, 2 walks and a ground out. This time he singles into center field past a diving Goodnight. Going first to third is Clemente. He'll slide in safely, and Lewis moving up to second on the play. The base running for the Wolverines just merciless as well. And 2 more runners in scoring position after that RBI single.
All these balls just finding holes here. That ball not hit particularly hard. Not hit particularly in a great location, I guess. But, it was hit in a particularly great location because it was a diving try there by Goodnight, but just couldn't quite get there as it was hit to the left side of that second base bag. Finds its way up the middle. First to third goes Clemente. Miles Lewis goes to second on the throw to third. And now he has his first hit on the day and an RBI as well. And Michigan back in business. 4 runs this inning, up to 16 on the day now.
The score 16-0 Wolverines as Blake Nelson comes up to the plate and takes high and away for ball 1.
And I guess when you're just on a 17-game winning streak, the ball seems to find the outfield. And for Penn State, when you've lost 11 of your last 12, you hit a ball hard and it just seems to find the gloves of the Michigan players. Speaking
of finding the outfield, that's going to be a 2-run double for Blake Nelson right down the left field line past a diving Kleeman. The Wolverines, I thought the 5 runs in the first couple innings were good. They've put up now 6 here in the 4th and lead 18-0.
Is there a mercy rule? This is ridiculous. You got to take Jack Taylor out of there at this point. I feel bad for the guy. He's been going out there competing. He's gotten a lot of balls that could easily be outs, not necessarily hit the hardest, but either some bad plays, couple errors, hitting the great location where nobody can just get the ball. And that ball, it's a nice hard hit ground ball down the line. If that ball is hit a couple feet more to the right, it's an easy play for the third baseman Kleeman to go and pick it up and throw to first. But that's just not what's happening here with Michigan. Every ball they hit just seems to find some hole somewhere and get into the outfield. And 2 more RBIs there for Blake Nelson. Now we're looking at an 18-0 game with 16 hits. And there's going to be a pitching change here. I'm trying to see who's getting brought in.
Really, the Michigan PA system just rubbing things in. A bad day would be an understatement here if you're talking about Penn State pitching. Although, if you want a little bit of consolation for Jeff Taylor, I believe the last 4 runs there were all unearned runs because of the error on Kleeman at third base.
That is true. Every time after 2 outs, if there's an error with 2 outs, the rest of the runs are unearned. And now coming in here, looks like it's going to be Jake Pilowitz, the right-handed senior.
Pilowitz making his 11th appearance on the year, more of a mop-up duty type of man. He's pitched in 11 innings, his ERA 10.64 on the season. He's walked 5, struck out 5 in those 11 innings worth of work. Opponents hit .333 against the senior right-hander for the Penn State. Again, at this point, you don't necessarily want to burn out your entire bullpen if you're Rob Cooper. You just want to get some arms in there and perhaps come back tomorrow, try to get something there. Don't necessarily use all of your best arms up in a game that you can potentially win tomorrow when this one seems just about out of reach, I'd say.
Yeah, I would say 18 runs, probably right about where you decide to cut the line. Be like, all right, we've had enough. But anyways, Jake Pilowitz, senior from Sewickley, Pennsylvania. He's a big guy, 6'2", 220 is the right-handed pitcher. So we're just going to see if he can get some outs here. But speaking of outs, that's something that Brock Keener, who's coming up, has not done today, as he is 3 for 3 with 3 singles, 2 RBIs, and a run to contribute to this hit party for Michigan today.
And stop me if you heard this before, but Michigan has once again batted around in the order. That makes 3 times in 4 innings. The Wolverines have sent a 10th man to the plate. In each of the first 2 innings, they sent 10 men exactly. Keener represents the 10th man here in the 4th.
Yeah, Brock Keener now batting .308 with no home runs and up to 9 RBIs.
He hits one high and deep towards right field, but Javidoni's going to make the play just in front of the track for out number 3. So again, the Wolverines, as you said, send 10 runners to the plate and push across 6 more runs in this ball game. It's a blowout here at Ray Fisher Stadium. The score 18-0 in favor of the Wolverines over the Nittany Lions. You're listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan baseball. Again, I'm Austin Falco alongside Jerry Gusenberg for only a half more inning here, even though it has felt like just about a full game's worth of action.
Yeah, it's been more than a full game's worth of action for Michigan, I'll tell you that much. You think the Michigan's going to come out pounding the strike zone with Tommy Henry. They're going to come out hitting. They are facing Justin Hagenman, who was supposed to be the star. So they get a couple runs across the board maybe, but I don't think anybody was predicting this, no matter how good Michigan's been playing in their past 17. Absolutely destroying the ball. Everybody seems to be part of the hit party today. And the outs they're making aren't cheap outs either, especially that last at bat by Brock Keener, another thing where it was a line shot to right field, but stayed up a little long. Right fielder Braxton Javidoni was able to get under it and make the play, but there's just been nothing coming cheap here for Penn State. They got to work for every single out, and they really haven't had many of them today, I'll tell you that.
Tommy Henry doing an impressive job to not really get cold during these innings when he's been stuck in the dugout. And on a day like today where the sun is beating down right in the Wolverine dugout's faces, pretty easy to stay warm, unlike most of the season up to this point, especially at home for Michigan.
We haven't been talking enough about Tommy Henry today because the offense has been clicking so well, but Tommy Henry's pitched 4 innings, only given up 1 hit and 1 walk.
They don't have time of possession in baseball, at least nothing that we keep track of, but over about an hour 40 in this ball game, I'd have to guess the Michigan offense has been out there for at least an hour 15 of that.
Oh yeah, I would definitely agree with that. Man, Michigan has just dominated every fact. I'm trying to think of something that you can say that Michigan could work on here, but they just defensively, pitching wise, and hitting, and base running too, they've done it all.
Braxton Javidoni is going to start things off here in the 5th. He swings and misses at the first pitch from Tommy Henry for a strike 0-1. And some of the numbers here are just absurd for the Wolverines as Henry fires an 0-1 pitch in there for strike 2. Looking at just your hitting numbers here, with runners on, 14 of 22. With runners in scoring position, 10 of 17. They're hitting 5 of 9 with 2 outs. It's just, these numbers are almost unheard of. There's a foul ball there on 0-2 from Javidoni, keeps him alive.
And looking at the Penn State side, Michigan's 14 for 22 with runners on. Penn State's 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position. Michigan 5 for 9. Penn State's 0 for 2. So it's not looking too good so far for Penn State, and the exact opposite here for the Wolverines.
Henry throws the 0-2 pitch high and wide there for ball number 1. And a little bit of action in the Wolverine bullpen, perhaps just trying to get Tommy Henry to the 5 innings in order to earn that win. This one's chopped towards third. Nelson ranges over, but it's in foul territory. So Javidoni stays alive one more time. The action kicking up just a little bit in the Wolverine bullpen. Head coach Eric Back is going to try to get some arms, some work there, not needing to push Henry any farther than he already has. Another 2 strike pitches fouled back behind the plate and out of play, so we'll try it again at 1-2.
Good at bat here for Javidoni. Batting .229 now on the year after being 0 for 1. 0 for 1 somehow. He's only had 1 at bat while all of Michigan's had about 4 or 5.
Breaking ball called strike 3. Not a chance there for Javidoni. He did all he could to stay alive, but was frozen there on the breaking ball from Tommy Henry. His 6th strikeout of the game, and now there's 1 gone in the 5th.
And that's that breaking ball, again, that we've seen a few times now. That's the first time I think he struck out somebody looking on that breaking ball, but he's really established that on the first pitch and second pitches of at-bats where that ball will start to a righty at about the letters down the plate, and it'll just end up sinking it low and inside about the knees, but still in the strike zone for a strike, and there's just very little chance these Penn State hitters can hit that pitch. Tommy Henry just really looked good with that breaking ball today.
Mason Nadeau steps in, takes a fastball high and away for ball 1, and now the 1-0 pitch is swung at and missed on the high fastball for strike 1. Nadeau, again, just his second time up to bat this ball game. He's 0 for 1. Meanwhile, if you go look at the Wolverine side, everyone except for Jack Blomgren has come to the plate 4 times in the first 4 innings of this one.
It's been a busy day for Nadeau in left field, though, that much I'll tell you, because there has been a lot of hard-hit balls out there that have gone to the wall, that have come to him in left field. He's had to make a bunch of plays where he throws it in, tries to, stop too many runners from coming around third and scoring. So Nadeau's been running around a lot out there in left field, not necessarily so much on the base paths.
1-1 breaking ball missed inside, and now the 2-1 fastball is swung at and missed for strike 2.
So now Nadeau swung and missed here at 2 fastballs that are up and way out of the strikes. And if you're Tommy Henry, you have so many pitches to do. You can either pitch that high pitch above the strikes. He's not going to hit again. You can pitch a breaking ball inside or out of the strike zone.
A 2-2 pitch. Couldn't quite tell what he was going for there. It was fouled up and over our heads here in the press box, out of play. So the count will remain 2-2.
Looked like the high fastball Henry decided to throw above the letters, pretty high, but was able to catch up to a little bit and to get a piece of that to foul it away.
Henry winds lefty, another 2-2 pitch, breaking ball in the dirt as Nadeau laid off of that one. And the count's full, 3-2.
Yeah, nice pitch there by Henry, able to he's been establishing that high pitch and now trying to get him to chase on the low.
There comes a 3-2 pitch. It's fouled. Bouncer off to the right side and out of play. Trying to make the play over there was the first base coach, or whoever's over there at first base. Tried to make the play there, but couldn't come up with it.
Lost his helmet in the process.
So we'll try another 3-2 pitch here in just a second. Henry comes set, glove at his chest, takes a breath. Now winds and fires. Ooh, that one off the helmet there of Nadeau. Scary moment there from the fastball coming high up on Henry. Nadeau looks to be okay, though. The ball bounced all the way to the Wolverine dugout.
Yeah, and Henry looking over at Nadeau saying, I'm sorry, really understanding that he did not mean to do that in an 18-0 game here in a 3-2 count. Feels bad about it, but Nadeau is okay. Ran over to first base, no problems. Now he's taking his lead, so all is good. And, a rare runner on first here for Penn State. So
the first pitch here to Logan Goodnight skips away from Brock Keener as it missed low and away. It's going to be ball 1, and Nadeau's going to move up to second, the first time Penn State's had a runner in scoring position since Jordan Bowersox led off the ball game with a double.
Not a great play there by catcher Brock Keener. That's probably going to go as the first error for Michigan on the day, as that ball was in his glove, and he just missed it. Went right in and right out to the screen. So able to go to second is Nadeau.
Welby scored a pass ball there on Keener, and now with the runner on second, Henry fires and pulls the string there on Goodnight with the changeup. Way out in front of it was Goodnight. He swung and missed at strike number 1.
And if you're Tommy Henry, just keep pounding the strikes, and if they get a hit, they get 2 hits, it's not that big of a deal. You don't want to hit batters, you want to walk batters right now. Don't get that pitch count up. Just find a way to get out of this inning. Let your players, your fielders do the work for you.
1-1 pitch, fastball that's right there on the outside corner. Keener frames it and gets the call from Perry Costello to bring the count to 1-2. Nadeau not being held on at second. He does have speed, so a ball in the outfield should score him. Goodnight waggles the bat. Now the 1-2 pitch, swung on and missed, but tipped off of, actually, it was foul tipped off of Keener and got away. So Goodnight barely staying alive.
That ball looked like it hit Keener right in the wrist guard almost. It made a nice little loud noise. Keener kind of winced in pain, it looked like, for a second, or maybe just in surprise that it didn't hit him in the glove, and got right back at it. So it will be a foul ball. We'll do it again here with a 1-2 count with 1 out in the top of the 5th inning with a runner on second base. 18-0, Michigan with the lead.
Henry looks in for a sign from Keener now. Lefty to righty. Henry to Goodnight, both sophomores. 1-2 pitch. Bounces in the dirt and gets past Keener. He'll field. He might have a shot at third. He doesn't make the throw, though, as Nadeau slides in. And now in a 2-2 count, all Goodnight has to do is get a fly ball to about medium depth in the outfield, and Penn State could score their first run of the ball game.
And normally you would say, nah, you don't want to do that in this kind of game. You know, just keep getting singles. But honestly, for Penn State, they just got to get that one run across the plate. You know you're not going to win, so find a productive way to get a runner
swing
across.
and a miss there from Goodnight sets him down. The second strikeout of the inning. Tommy Henry, 7th of the ball game, as our colleague Jimmy Parks would say, 1 for each day of the week. And now with a runner on third, 2 gone in the inning, it'll be the 9-hitter Joe Weisenseal.
And for the second time today, Goodnight Logan as he strikes out for the second time.
Henry to Weisenseal, fastball outside corner, strike number 1. Weisenseal does not have an official at-bat today. He was hit by a pitch back in the third. That was retired on a sterling double play, started by Akeo Thomas, as the 0-1 pitch is fouled off into the Penn State dugout. Well late on that swing was Weisenseal, and Henry a chance to get through 5 shutout innings here.
Yeah, Weisenseal, one of 4 base runners today for Henry. 2 hit by pitches, a walk and a hit.
0-2 pitch, fastball, call, strike 3 on the outside corner. So Henry finishes off just the way he'd like it, presumably called strike 3 there. Gives him 8 strikeouts on the day. And that will do it for Penn State here in the top half of the 5th inning. The score remains Michigan 18, Penn State nothing. You're listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan baseball. And just as that'll do it for Penn State and perhaps Tommy Henry's day, that'll do it for Jerry Gusenberg's and I's day here, calling the first half of this ballgame. We'll turn it over to Joseph Gross and Max Brill in just a second. Any parting thoughts here, Jerry?
Go blue. Every single thing has been clicking for Michigan. You got the offense, 2 home runs, everybody hitting the ball hard today. You got the pitching staff. Tommy Henry doing what he does best. 1 hit, 2 hit by pitches, unfortunately, but just a walk. So 4 base runners here in his 5 innings pitch, which, as you said, is probably it for Tommy Henry in this 18-0 game. Then the fielding with Akeo Thomas making a great play out there to start double play, and just no errors besides that 1 pass ball there by Brock Keener this past inning. So in all facets of the game, Michigan getting it done, and we'll see if they can continue to hold this 18-0 lead for their 18th straight victory. Now we'll hand it over here to Joseph Gross and Max Brill. Hello, guys.
Excellent call there by Jerry Gusenberg and Austin Falco, and as Jerry says, figures to be a nail-biter here down the stretch. Hello and welcome in again to Ray Fisher Stadium. We're here in the middle of the 5th inning. My name's Joseph Gross. I'm joined alongside me by Max Brill, and so far it has been a tale of 2 different squads. One 8-0 leading the Big Ten, the other Penn State 1-11 last in the Big Ten, and that's exactly how it's played out today, although maybe a little bit more extremely than we anticipated.
Penn State's just lucky this doesn't count for 2 losses, or more, because Michigan scored enough runs to win like 6 games today.
As that first pitch to Blomgren goes on the outside corner for a strike. And it's just been absolute dominance here today. Every single hitter for the Michigan lineup except Jack Blomgren has a hit. Tommy Henry hasn't allowed a run through 5 innings, as the 0-1 pitch is swung on and hit down the third baseline just foul. 0-2 on Blomgren.
I mean, you said it best. There's really not a whole lot to add. You can just take a look at the scoreboard. Michigan 18 runs on 16 hits. No errors defensively. They've just played a very, very complete game. And every hitter in this Michigan lineup has reached base safely more than once. So, except for Blomgren.
Except for Blomgren. Blomgren 0 for 3 on the day here as he's down in the count 0-2. Pilowitz comes set. And here's his pitch. Breaking ball that just misses outside.
Good breaking pitch from him there. Pilowitz has been unafraid to go to that, as was Jeff Taylor, the previous pitcher. It's good to see them unafraid to attack these Michigan hitters still.
And that pitch is swung on and hit on the ground to Goodnight. He's up with it, throws, and retires Blomgren at first for the first out of the home half of the 5th inning. And that will bring up Akeo Thomas for his 5th at-bat. It looks like before that's going to happen, we're going to have a pinch hitter here. It's going to be Jimmy Kerr. So head coach Eric Bakich airing out the bench here. Jimmy Kerr will come up to pinch hit for Akeo Thomas, who already had 4 at-bats in here today.
Yeah, Austin and Jerry mentioned this prior to going off the air, but with Michigan up by 18 here in the bottom of the 5th, there's no reason for Coach Bakich to keep his starters in there, save the potential for injury, get your other bench players some playing time. Love this move from Coach Bakich, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Tommy Henry taking a seat after what has been a phenomenal start from him.
Kerr swings and misses at that first pitch and sends his bat flying way down the first baseline, right near the first base coach for Penn State. So he'll go and retrieve that. And Kerr has not been great so far this season with the bat. In some pinch hit appearances, gotten a couple starts. He's hitting just 4 for 35 on the season.
It's been tough for Kerr, who started earlier in the season a handful of games at third base in the Lipscomb series. He started 2 games at third, but it's been really tough for him to get going with the bat. So hoping that with the rest of the Michigan lineup doing that today, he can join in on the fun.
Absolutely crazy numbers up here on the scoreboard. 18-0, 16 hits to just 1 hit for Penn State, as Jimmy Kerr looking to add on to it. Now Pilowitz's 1-0-1 pitch swings around the outside edge for a strike, 0-2.
Great pitch there from Pilowitz. Again, going to that breaking stuff. Not afraid to use that. Coach not telling him just to throw strikes to get out of it, which is something you love to see. Penn State still trying to improve despite the fact that the margin of runs is a little high.
And that 0-2 pitch is up and away. Love your positivity here, Max. Always looking on the bright side here for Penn State. But really, how do you come back and play another game tomorrow against a team that just was up 18 runs on you in the 5th inning?
So I was actually sitting down behind home plate prior to coming up here and getting in the booth.
As that 1-2 pitch misses low?
Yeah, and I was talking with some buddies about what do you do if you're Penn State's pitching staff. This is the first game of a 3-game set, and Michigan, probably the toughest team to beat in the Big Ten so far this year. You don't want to burn out your bullpen, but at the same time, you really can't stick with the guys who are ineffective. So it's about finding a happy medium for Coach Rob Cooper and the rest of the Penn State coaching staff.
And that pitch misses low as well, and the count will go full. But definitely for Penn State, you got to search and find something, not just to play tomorrow, but sort of to get through the latter half of this game as well.
It's always hard to come back after a thrashing like this.
As the payoff pitch is swung on and missed, and Kerr goes down swinging for the second out of this inning.
Yeah, as I was saying, it's tough to come back from a thrashing like this, but as I was saying, it's just 1 game. They don't get 2 losses for this. They don't get 5 losses for this. It just goes down as 1 L in the standings, and that's what you can take pride in, is that it's just 1 game. You come back tomorrow, it's 0-0.
And for Penn State, they've taken a lot of those 1 Ls. This loss would move them to 1-12 in the Big Ten, as Chris Bullock looks in and takes that one outside, 1-0.
Bullock on the day, 2 for 4, an infield hit to right field. He's got an RBI and 2 runs scored as well.
As he check swings on that one. That one's high, so the count will go to 2-0 on Bullock. And Bullock's really come on so far in his sophomore season. Now has kicked his average up to 291 with that 2 for 4 showing so far here today. He's been a pretty good clutch hitter at the top of the lineup, too, with 11 RBIs. As that one swung on and shot through the hole on the right side. Diving is Weisenwilly comes up with it, but no throw, as Bullock was easily safe at first base.
So another infield hit there from Chris Bullock, and it's been death by 1,000 cuts for the Penn State Nittany Lions today, so to speak. I mean, Michigan does have those 2 long balls from Jonathan Engelman, who's coming up to the dish right now, and Jesse Franklin. But aside from them, only 2 extra base hits from the rest of the squad. It's been a lot of singles, a lot of walks.
Yeah, death by 17 hits for Michigan to go along with those 3 errors by Penn State. And so you mentioned Engelman will be up to bat. He is yet to record an out here for Michigan here today. Did get that sac fly, did record that out back in the 4th inning, but on the scorecard shows 2 for 2. He hit that home run back in the 2nd inning. That was an absolute monster. As he does the same here. This one swung on. Going back is the left fielder, Nato at the track. Looking up. It's foul ball. Maybe a foot or 2 foul.
Tough break there for Engelman after absolutely crushing the ball in his at-bat in the 2nd inning. It's hard to keep track with the scorecard. I've got so many rows for so few innings. But, yeah, second inning, he hit that bomb to left field. I mean, it went way over that wall, and looking to do the same thing right here, but hooking that just a little bit foul, so it's 0-1 now.
So just a strike there on Engelman. Good pitch, I guess, by Pilowitz, getting ahead in the count. And now Engelman will stand in again. He's moved his average up to 354 on the season. Takes that pitch on just a bit off the outside corner for a ball 1-1.
And one of the questions for Engelman as the season will begin to wind down to a close is, what do you do once it's over? Because this is a junior who has been phenomenal, one of the best players in all of the Big Ten.
As that one swung on and hit on the ground to short. Goodnight up with it, flips the second for one, and that will do it for Michigan here in the bottom of the 5th inning. For the first time today, a 0 goes up on the scoreboard for Michigan. The score remains 18-0 after 5. And go ahead, what were you going to say about Jonathan Engelman right there?
It's always a question of whether you want to enter the draft. In baseball, you don't have to officially declare, but it's kind of understood whether a player will return for his senior season or not, and whether teams are going to spend a high draft pick on him. Engelman has been one of the best hitters in the country this season. Big Ten, easily one of the best, and in all of the country. He's got 5 home runs, including the dinger today, hitting over 350, plays very good defense in center field. Do you go pro after this season? And it's definitely tough to leave behind a team that has so much potential. You look at the freshmen on this team: Jeff Criswell, Jesse Franklin, Jack Blomgren. At shortstop has been a stalwart. Ben Dragani. It's really a very talented team. And if you're a junior in Jonathan Engelman, you think, hey, is it possible that this team could go on to do something special next year and in the years beyond? And he's only got one more season left after this, should he choose to stay. So it'll be interesting to follow that storyline as the season does come to a close. And in that last inning, no runs, 1 hit for the Wolverines, no errors, nobody left on. At the end of 5, it's the Wolverines 18, Penn State Nittany Lions 0 on WCBN Sports Radio.
Yeah, we're in a tight one here today at Ray Fisher Stadium as 18-0. I have not seen a score like this maybe ever for Michigan baseball. So far this season, the most runs they put up in a game was 16 against Lipscomb.
That was a 16-11 win, so it was close.
And they already have 18 here, and we're just in the top of the 6th inning. So Eric Bakich likely will air out his benches. He's here conferencing with home plate umpire Perry Costello. And we'll get those defensive changes announced for you as soon as we get them up. Did say Jimmy Kerr pinch hit for Akeo Thomas, so likely he'll be coming into second base.
Changes for Michigan outfield on field. Number 42, Jordan Wogu. In right field for 32.
So it'll be Jordan Wogu into left field. He replaces Miles Lewis, the switch hitter who started off the day there. So Wogu, the freshman, will get an opportunity there. Jimmy Kerr will slot into second base for Akeo Thomas. And out in right field, we'll get a defensive replacement as well. I'll let you know that as soon as possible. And Jack Weisenberger will be on the mound here for Michigan, as his first pitch nails the outside corner for a strike.
So Tommy Henry's day is done after 5 innings pitched. He's in line for the win. 1 hit, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts, 1 wild pitch, 2 hit batsmen, 18 batters faced, and 80 pitches. Improves his season ERA to 2.49. A fantastic day at the office for Tommy Henry.
And the second pitch from Weisenberger is waved at and missed, 0-2. And it will be Joe Pace on in right field as the defensive replacement here. So 3 new players coming into the game: Wogu, Kerr, and Pace to go along with Weisenberger on the mound, whose 0-2 pitch misses just a bit outside, 1-2.
Pretty sure we've got a new first baseman as well, Matthew Schmidt, in there. He's going to actually hit for Jonathan Engelman, and Jesse Franklin will move to center field.
So some maneuvering here by Eric Bakich, up 18-0, as that one swung on and popped up by the first base line. Camped under it is Schmidt, calls off his teammates and makes the catch just in foul ground. So Weisenberger comes in here and gets the first out of the top of the 6th inning.
Matthew Schmidt getting some action right in the game. First play to him. So Coach Bakich getting to see some of his bench guys in action so far. That'll be good to see. And I haven't seen Jesse Franklin in center field at all this season, so that'll definitely be interesting to watch somebody who's probably going to be a first-round pick when all's said and done in 3 years.
Showed some wheels on that double that he scored on from first. Be interesting to see how he plays defensively in center, as Ryan Sloniger steps in and grounds that one in the hole between first and second for a single. So Sloniger, first pitch swinging, gets aboard, and that will put him at 1 for 3 on the day. And Penn State's got some action on the bases here in the top of the 6th inning.
In last inning, they had Mason Nadeau on third base with 1 out. Couldn't bring him home. Tommy Henry getting back-to-back strikeouts to end that threat. So we'll see if Weisenberger can bounce back the same way here in the top of the 6th.
So it'll be Connor Kleeman up to bat. Kleeman 0 for 2 on the day. Those at-bats both coming against Tommy Henry. As he takes the breaking ball outside, ball 1. Let's get you Weisenberger's numbers on the season here. In 16 2/3 innings pitched, he's allowed 9 earned runs for an ERA of 4.86. Weisenberger's allowed 14 walks and 17 strikeouts as he pumps a fastball in there 1 and 2. Pardon me, 1 and 1. So Weisenberger looking to show head coach Eric Bakich that he can be a pitcher that can be trusted in that bullpen, as that pitch misses low, 2 and 1. He's got some of that cross-body delivery where he puts that left foot, works from the third base side of the rubber, does the right-hander, puts that left foot just a little bit farther towards the third base side than that back foot. Now his 2-1 pitch misses inside, a rarity today, and the count will go to 3 and 1.
A great breaking pitch there, though, from Weisenberger, and that's something you also love to see as a head coach, a pitching coach. Your guys comfortable going to their breaking stuff when they're behind in the count.
It did miss, though, and the count is 3 and 1. And now his pitch is swung on and grounded near second base. Kerr up with it. His only play is first, and he goes there to get the second out of the inning. Advancing to second on the play was Sloniger. So Penn State will have a runner in scoring position with 2 outs and an opportunity to knock across their first run of the day.
Only their second runner in scoring position today. Michigan pitching staff, Tommy Henry in particular, and this 2 outs of Jack Weisenberger, done a great job of keeping Penn State in check so far. Just 2 hits on the day, and it looks like they're well on their way to number 18.
So that will
fitting because they have 18 runs.
18, yeah. So that will bring up Parker Hendershot. The freshman is 0 for 1 with a walk back in the first inning. Looks at that first pitch low in the turf, ball 1. Hendershot, one of the better hitters so far this season for Penn State. Even with that 0 for 1 here today, batting .283, which is the best number, second best number out of any of these Penn State hitters here in the lineup today, trailing just Sloniger. Weisenberger comes set and his 1-0 pitch. Breaking ball missed just low and outside. 2-0.
So Weisenberger having a little bit of trouble locating here. His first inning of work so far today. I'd assume that we will be able to see some more of him, but there is some stirring in the Michigan bullpen, so we'll see what Coach Bakich has up his sleeve.
You got to protect the 18-0 lead. As Weisenberger's 2-0 pitch is swung on and fouled back. And, of course, when you have a game that goes 18-0, numbers just get so skewed within the game and even on the season for pitchers' ERAs. Case in point being Justin Hageman, the starting pitcher for Penn State, at a 2.92 ERA coming in today, exits with it above 4. So,
I mean, that's what's going to happen. You give up 9 runs in an inning and a third. It's going to go up a lot.
As that pitch misses outside, 3 and 1.
Man, it's hard to talk about stuff in an 18 blowout, 18-0 blowout, Yosef.
Imagine how hard it is to play.
We're usually pretty talkative up here, and I feel like it's just dead.
Imagine how hard it is to play down 18-0. I mean, being up 18-0, that's a fun time. You can do stuff you're not allowed to ever do. As that pitch misses outside for a ball, and Hendershot will take the 5-pitch walk. So you could say a little bit of something cooking on the bases here for Penn State.
Yeah, Hendershot's been on base all 3 times, twice courtesy of a walk, and got there on a strikeout and an error by the catcher, Brock Keener, in the 4th inning.
And you really can't take a lot out of the team evaluation in an 18-0 game other than one team crushed the other, but you can look at individual performances, and for Weisenberger's come in, hasn't looked great so far in this inning. He got those 2 outs, but his command's been a little bit iffy, and that's been his problem all season.
Indeed.
As that first pitch to Robinson is in there on the outside corner for a strike. And with that walk, he now has 15 walks on the season to 17 strikeouts. Not exactly the ratio you're looking for.
Absolutely not the ratio you're looking for. And he's trying to turn it around here against Curtis Robinson, who's 0 for 2 today. Grounded into a double play in the 4th. He grounded out to Akeo Thomas, who took it to the bag himself in the 1st.
That was an interesting play for Thomas, as his 0-1 pitch misses high, 1-1. Robinson, with that 0 for 2 showing here today so far, now has a 159 batting average on the season. That is the worst in the Penn State lineup here today.
And definitely not what you want to see from your 5-hitter.
Well, interesting that he's still hitting 5, probably because he's left-hander, wanted to mix and match the left and right-handers, batters, as that pitch misses the outside corner, 2-1.
Here we go with Weisenberger having trouble finding his spots, as he has been wont to do this season.
So runners at first and second for Penn State. 2 outs here in the top of the 6th inning. The count is 2-1 on Robinson. Weisenberger looks in to the catcher, who we have not announced is actually Joe Donovan, and that pitch misses low, 3-1. So should have let you know earlier there. Got a little lost there in the defensive replacements, but Joe Donovan is in there, the freshman from Clarendon Hills, Illinois, is in there to replace Brock Keener at catcher. So Weisenberger in trouble. Could load the bases here if he issues a walk to Robinson. Has lost a bit of his command. And here's his 3-1 delivery. That's swung on and sent high into foul ground on the left side. Nelson's going over. He's at the wall. He reaches over. Can't make the catch as that one escaped into the Michigan bullpen.
Just a little out of his reach, and a tough break there for Weisenberger, getting the pop-up, but just foul. So it'll be a 3-2 count here with 2 outs in the top of the 6th. The base runners will be in motion, and Weisenberger, anything to the outfield is going to score at least 1 run here.
At least
he's
one.
got to keep it on the infield.
And for Penn State, that's what you're basically trying to do at this point. You don't want the final score to be something like 20-0. You know, a lot of people might just read this final score. You can get it around like 18-7. No one's really going to talk about that, other than every Michigan fan.
Yeah, I was going to say, probably a lot of Michigan folks will talk about it.
As the payoff pitch is swung on and grounded to Kerr. He's up with it. Easy throw to first. And Jack Weisenberger works around the 2 runners on base, strands runners at first and second, and we'll head to the home half of the 6th inning. Michigan clinging to their 18-0 lead.
You're listening to WCBN Sports Radio's coverage of Michigan Wolverines baseball. I'm Max Brill, joined by Yosef Gross. And Yosef, it's been all Michigan today, and I have a feeling, a slight feeling, that this is how it's going to be for the weekend. Michigan's done a good job of coming in, setting the tone early in the series. Put up 2 5 spots in the first 2 innings and have not looked back from there.
Yeah, well, Michigan's been on their win streak. It's now 17 games, but they haven't quite been beating teams 18-0. Especially recently, some of those games have been a little closer. In the last game, they ended up winning, I think the score was 6-3 against Maryland in 8 innings, which was shortened due to the weather. But Maryland actually took the lead in that game 1-0 in the first inning. So for Michigan, this is a little out of sorts in that 18 runs is always a huge offensive showing. And you hope it doesn't, you don't want to get too much into the psyche of what an 18-0 win or loss does, but you hope that they could just come back out tomorrow and can pick up right where they left off if you're a Michigan fan against a Penn State team. Assuming they win today, they would have an 18-game win streak. And that's getting into some historic territory for Michigan.
I'm not sure what the all-time win streak is for them. But
for Michigan?
For Michigan. It's got to be close to 18.
I believe it's in the 20s. I believe it was 23, I want to say, back in the 80s, but not quite sure, as we'll get our statistician, Max Brill, will be working on that for you.
Number 2, Carmen Hughes.
So Jake Pilowitz will be back out to pitch the bottom of the 6th inning for Penn State. Pilowitz threw up that first 0 of the game on the scoreboard in the bottom of the 5th inning for Michigan. They'll be trying to do the same here, as he'll be facing Franklin, Clementi, and Wogu. Franklin will lead off here, the left-handed batter. Should have the advantage in the platoon against Pilowitz. Not that Franklin needs it. He's 2 for 2 on the day with a home run and a single.
Leading off, the bottom of the 6th position, number 7, Jesse Franklin.
As that pitch is on the inside corner for a strike, 0-1. And Jesse Franklin has shown this season, along with Jonathan Engelman, we talked about last inning, that he's got some serious pop in that bat. Hit his 7th home run here today as he swings and foul tips that one back to the backstop. Quickly down in the count 0-2.
Franklin was a 37th round pick, if I'm not mistaken, for the Mariners. I've heard rumors that he was supposed to be a supplemental first, but everybody knew he was coming to Michigan.
And that's one of those cases where it's sort of an unspoken rule of the baseball draft as that pitch misses down and low, 1-2, where scouts and people, they talk a little bit behind the scenes. They know who's coming out, who's not, where you should draft him. And for Franklin, it was pretty clear he was going to go to college baseball.
I mean, a lot of it is that the teams don't want to waste their early picks on guys who aren't going to sign.
As he swings and misses at that 1-2 pitch, goes down swinging for the first down of this inning.
First time Franklin's made an out today. He's now 2 for 2 with a walk, a hit by pitch, a home run, 2 RBIs, 2 runs, and that 1 strikeout. So he's stuffed the stat sheet today.
And now up to bat will be Dominic Clementi. Clementi 2 for 4 on the day. And to get you an update on what the program record is for the win streak, it is 24 games won in a row in 1985. That year, Michigan baseball team also had a separate 16-game win streak. So not quite sure they'll be able to get both of those win streaks, but Michigan is in hot pursuit of that 24 as that first pitch is low and outside to Clementi.
1985, they went 55-10 under Coach Bud Middaugh. So very, very impressive showing from them in that season. We'll see if they can get up there, not too far away.
As that pitch bounces off the foot of Dominic Clementi, who didn't budge an inch, and he'll take the trot down to first base. So don't tell Clementi that Michigan's up 18-0, as he looked almost eager to take that hit by pitch, get on base, improve that on-base percentage right there.
He's done a great job this season. Has been coming off the bench a lot, but since he entered the starting lineup as a designated hitter, he's gotten the occasional start in the outfield. He's hitting incredibly well. His season batting average for Clementi all the way up to 339. So really he's been doing it all off the bench.
And up steps Jordan Wogu, and he takes that first pitch for a ball, and it goes right through the wickets of Orndorff to the backstop. And so Clementi will advance to second on that one. I believe it was ruled a ball, although it wasn't far from being a strike, honestly.
Definitely a ball. My question is whether that's going to go as a wild pitch or a passed ball. They do rule it a passed ball.
And we should let you know that Derek Orndorff is in to replace the catcher Ryan Sloniger, who started the game for Penn State. As well as that, some other defensive replacements here. Hughes in at second base as that pitch is swung on and popped up in shallow right field. Going back as the second baseman, Hughes, he calls for it and makes the play. So Wogu is retired for the second out of the inning. And Michigan's in trouble. They might go 2 innings in a row without scoring a run.
Golly gee, wouldn't that be awful?
Third baseman, number 10.
No, I mean,
Nelson.
for Penn State, Jake Pilowitz has done a great job of coming in and stopping the bleeding. So far, he's thrown 2 innings, allowed just 1 hit, and hit 1 batter. 2 strikeouts, no earned runs allowed, no walks. This is exactly what you need. And what I was talking about earlier in the broadcast with guys coming in, stopping the bleeding so you can save that bullpen for the rest of the series, Pilowitz has been that guy so far.
Absolutely. And those defensive replacements on the infield are as follows. It will be Tommy Gibson in at shortstop as that first pitch is swung on and sent way down the left field line. Foul. 0-1. So it'll be Tommy Gibson in at shortstop. He replaced Logan Goodnight. In at second base is Conlon Hughes, replacing the second baseman Joe Weisenseal, who started the game. So both head coaches go into their benches here. No need to overplay the starters here, as an 18-run deficit is up on the board for Penn State, as that pitch is low and outside, 1-1 to Nelson.
Pilowitz, despite the 2 scoreless innings so far today, has a season ERA of 9, so this is a little uncharacteristic.
You do reach some of those points in the game where if you're up 18 runs, it's hard to throw out good at-bat after good at-bat if you're a Michigan Wolverine. Now the 1-1 pitch. A good breaking ball in the outside corner, 1-2.
Very, very impressive breaking pitch there from Pilowitz.
It's mixing and matching right here, perhaps telling his head coach that he should have come into the game a little bit earlier. Now he gets the sign from the catcher, Orndorff, comes set, and his 1-2 pitch just a bit low on the outside, so the count will go to 2-2. And for head coach Rob Cooper for Penn State, in his 5th season at the helm of the Nittany Lions, has to be one of his lower points here. 1-11 coming into today in Big Ten play, and to cap that off with what has been so far an 18-0 thumping. Just an absolute, sort of a bit of an embarrassment so far today on the field. So Clemente out at second, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th inning. The count is 2-2 on Nelson. And here's the pitch, swung on and sent down the line to left field. That's going to go past Nato and go all the way to the wall. Scoring easily is Clemente, and into second with an RBI double. His 3rd RBI double of the game is Blake Nelson. And so Michigan does not let 2 zeros go on the scoreboard for 2 innings in a row, as they now lead 19-0.
Great job of hitting there by Blake Nelson. He's done that all day. He's got 4 hits now on the day, 3 of them doubles down the left field line, and you really can't draw it up any better than that if you're Blake Nelson or Coach Bakich. Now his season average, all the way up to 2.86, adding 6 RBIs on the day. He's been the player of the day for the Wolverines.
Absolutely. As now into bat will be Joe Donovan, and he takes that one low for a ball. Donovan, this is just his 22nd at-bat of the season.
He's hitting 238.
238. He's gotten some pinch hit appearances, mostly come on as late game in situations like this. As that second pitch is swung on and hit into shallow center field. Coming in as Bauer Sox camps under it. Easy play for the 3rd out of the inning. So the RBI double by Blake Nelson is the only damage in this inning, and Michigan leads 19-0 going to the top of the 7th inning.
You're listening to WCBN Sports Radio's coverage of Michigan Wolverines baseball. I'm Max Brill alongside Yosef Gross as we go to the top of the 7th inning with Michigan leading by almost 2 whole sets of 10 runs. That's enough to win definitely more than 1 game. I'm feeling like they should save some for later.
Honestly feels a little cheated here for the Michigan Wolverines. I mean, the only thing I can compare it to is what the Michigan softball team has been doing so far this season. As their game is underway here right now. They just kicked off. First pitch was at 6:00 p.m. But the Michigan softball team, at least in college softball, they have a mercy rule. But no mercy rule here today, as Michigan putting 19 runs on the board and blanking Penn State so far. I mean, their score can almost drink. So it's been a pretty good day for Michigan.
Yeah. It has been a pretty good day for Michigan, and something that is backed up by that great day as the Michigan bench does some exercise in the outfield to stay warm between innings. Jace Van Senna now coming on for the Wolverines. Van Senna has had a little bit of trouble this season on the mound. Hasn't been exactly lights out, but he was a great veteran leader for this team last year, and even this season has been demonstrating that veteran leadership. So far, he's got a 7.80 ERA in 15 innings pitched, 10 strikeouts, just 3 walks. So he's got decent stuff, but really just has been allowing a lot of hard contact so far this season. Coach Bakich figures the game's probably in hand at this point. Can never be too sure. It's baseball. Anything could happen, but Van Senna will get a couple innings here, hopefully, to try to right himself.
Hey, I mean, Blomgren's got quite the arm. Maybe test him out, see what he's got on the mound.
I would love to see some position players in action today. I feel like that would just make the season.
So it will be Van Senna on the mound. Set to bat is Giovanni, although it's safe to assume there is a high likelihood of a pinch hitter at this point. But instead it will be Braxton Giovanni stepping in to bat. He's 0 for 2 on the day here so far. A lot of 0-4s in this Penn State lineup. Again, they just have 2 hits on the day. And the scoreboard is just so lopsided. Normally when you see a 19 runs on one side, you see 6, 7, maybe 8 runs on the other side. But it's 19-0 as we head here to the top of the 7th inning. Just 2 hits for Penn State.
That's what happens when Henry and Weisenberger come in, pitch, lights out. It's going to be tough to get anything going for the offense.
So that first pitch blazes on the inside corner for a strike, 0-1. So it will be a combination of Vancena, whose pitch is way outside off the mitt of Donovan to the backstop. So a battery you don't normally see here for the Michigan baseball team, a pitcher and catcher of Vancena and Joe Donovan. Don't know how much Vancena throws to Donovan as his 1-1 pitch is on the way. And in there on the outside corner for a strike. But a lot of Michigan Wolverines getting an opportunity to play here today, being up 19-0. Vancena will step off the rubber, adjust his cap. And now here's the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Vancena gets Giovanni for the miss as my voice goes out a little bit there.
Your voice getting up there with the Michigan score.
The left fielder, number 20.
But yeah, no, I mean, good from Vancena. Exactly what you like to see, coming out, getting a strikeout. Exactly what you want to see, pounding the strike zone up by 19. So definitely not afraid to go there after the seemingly wild pitch.
So now up to bat will be Mason Nadeau as he takes that pitch on the outside corner for a strike. Nadeau 0 for 1 on the day with a hit by pitch back in the 5th inning. His average now ticking up a little bit above 180 up to a $184. Now the 0-1 pitch is swung on and foul off the mask of Donovan. Trickles all the way out back to the mound to Vancena. Home plate umpire Perry Costello will step up for a minute. Give Joe Donovan just a few moments to collect himself.
Yeah, Vancena, the 6'5", 225-pound senior out of Millbury, Ohio, has had a storied Michigan Wolverines career.
He's been a part of some good Michigan baseball, almost great Michigan baseball teams here so far in his years, and could be part of one this year so far. As his 0-2 pitch is swung on and missed. Went back to that breaking ball, the same pitch that he got Giovanni on, and he gets Nadeau swinging as well. So Vancena showing head coach Eric Bakich what he can do here as he strikes out the first 2 batters of the inning. And now up to bat will be Tommy Gibson for his first at-bat of the day. Replaced the shortstop Logan Goodnight back in the 6th inning. And now we'll get an opportunity to show what he can do at the plate.
This season, Tommy Gibson, a 167 hitter, so not exactly a huge threat at the plate. Takes the first pitch a little high for ball 1.
Now the second pitch is swaved at and missed by Gibson. Looked like he may have been trying to go where Jonathan Engelman went earlier, if possible. And the count will now go to 0-2 here on Gibson. Or make that 1-1 as that pitch misses high, 2-1.
Vancena losing his command a little bit here after striking out the first 2 batters. We'll see if he comes back with a fastball behind 2-1 in this count.
And he does do that, but it misses high. Again, 3-1.
Vancena having a little bit of trouble locating his fastball against Hughes here, who's not exactly a huge threat at the plate.
And now Tommy Gibson checks his swing on the 3-1 pitch, but it catches the edge of the plate, and the count will go full. So the string is out here on Vancena. And now his payoff pitch. Misses inside, ball 4.
So another one of those walks we've seen plague Vancena all year. That's his 14th of the season compared to just 12 strikeouts. It's really been a struggle. Sorry, 4th of the season compared to just 12 strikeouts. It's been kind of a struggle for him to get that strikeout to walk ratio up. 3 is not a bad ratio, but given that he has allowed 26 hits on the year, hasn't exactly been pretty for him in his short bit of work this season.
Absolutely not, as now into bat will be Conlon Hughes, who, like Gibson, came in defensively in the last inning and swings and grounds that one up the middle for a base hit. Taking the turn at second is Gibson, but he'll hold there. So the 2 bench players doing a little damage here for Penn State as the walk followed by the single by Hughes now has runners at first and second for Penn State with 2 outs, and the top of the order coming up. So it will be Jordan Bowersox in for his 4th at-bat of the day. Bowersox 1 for 3, got that leadoff double back in the first inning when things were looking oh so bright for Penn State. Vancena taking time, gets the sign from Donovan finally. Now comes set, and his first pitch misses high and outside, ball 1.
Bowersox 1 for 3 today, has the team's lone extra base hit with a leadoff double in the first inning and did not end up coming around to score.
And what was at the time a pretty key pitching job by Tommy Henry to strand him out at second base as he swings and fouls that one back to even up the count at 1-1. At the time, would have been a 1-0 lead for Penn State in the top of the first inning. You never know how the game goes after that point.
Yeah, it was a really good job by Henry in the top of the first to stop the bleeding after that Bowersox leadoff double, and then after that he just took over, did not allow a hit the rest of the way.
Now the 1-1 pitch. That one misses low, 2-1.
Bowersox this season, a .266 hitter, one of the better hitters in the Penn State lineup, has 17 runs on the season and 13 RBIs, looking to add to that total here with runners on first and second and 2 outs.
Now he checks the swing on that one, but it caught the outside corner, says Perry Costello, and the count will go to 2-2. So Vancena trying to work around some 2-out rallying by the Penn State Nittany Lions here, as Gibson's out at second, Hughes at first. 2 outs here in the top of the 7th inning, count at 2-2 on Bowersox. Now Vancena comes set, and his pitch. Swung on and fouled straight back. We'll do it again at 2-2.
Michigan today has scored more runs than every other team in the Big Ten that has played so far today combined.
How many other games is that so far today?
Well, Purdue and Maryland just kicked off, but aside from that, there have been 3 other games so far in the Big Ten.
As you said, should count for more than 1 win, but alas, it does not, as that 2-2 pitch hits the outside corner. Strike 3 called. So an excellent job by Jace Vancena as he keeps Michigan aboard up 19-0, heading to the home half of the 7th inning. And it's time to take a stretch here at Ray Fisher Stadium.
You're listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan Wolverines baseball here at Ray Fisher Stadium on this Friday, April 20th. I'm Max Brill, joined by Yosef Gross. Let's take a trip around the Big Ten. Standings so far up to this point, Michigan atop the Big Ten with their perfect 8-0 record, likely to improve to 9-0 after today, but don't want to say anything just yet. It's
hey, no need to jinx it. No need to jinx it.
Exactly. Minnesota in second place at 7-1. They're 1 game back, as is Illinois at 9-3. Indiana 6-2, 2 games back. OSU 6-3. Iowa 6-4. And Purdue, Rutgers, Maryland, MSU, Nebraska, Northwestern, and Penn State rounded out. So Michigan beating up on some of the lesser competition in the conference so far this season. Today, Iowa taking on the number 25 team in the country, Minnesota Golden Gophers. They're losing 2-1 right now, are the Golden Gophers. Iowa on the road. That game is in the bottom of the 6th right now. We're in the bottom of the 6th in Evanston as well. Michigan State beating up on Northwestern by a score of 5-3. Purdue and Maryland just kicked off at 6:30 first pitch. That one is happening in College Park. And Rutgers and Nebraska have gone final. Rutgers taking the victory over Nebraska to improve to 5-5 in the Big Ten by a score of 4-2. And for the Wolverines here in the bottom of the 7th, it'll be Jack Blomgren, Jimmy Kerr, and Joe Pace due up.
Trio of hitters looking for their first hit this afternoon. Of course, Kerr and Pace came into the game. Blomgren, the only player who started the game for Michigan yet to record a hit, as he is 0 for 4. As Pilowitz's first pitch is a big breaker that misses on the outside corner for a ball. If only the Michigan football team could put up 19 every game. As that pitch misses low, 2-0.
Now I'm sad. It's been a really good year, though, for Michigan athletics. Frozen Four, Final Four, women's gymnastics won the Big Ten. The baseball team is going to be on an 18-game win streak after today.
Softball team.
Softball's been outstanding, as expected.
As the 2-0 pitch is swung on, a little chopper just down the third baseline, scoots foul.
Yeah, I mean, it's great to be a Michigan Wolverine, as it always is.
Says the freshman, Max Bro.
It's hard not to fall in love with this athletic program after what they've done this year.
It's been a good freshman year. I mean, for me, my sophomore year, last year, pretty good as well. But, I mean, you get the Final Four in basketball. You get the Frozen Four in hockey. You have a baseball team whipping off, as you said, 17 games. Softball. Seems like every single sport doing good at this point.
And exactly what you'd expect. Elite academics, elite athletics. Elite hitter, Jack Blomgren up at the dish right now. Okay, maybe not elite. He's hitting 220, but still, great defender.
As he takes that pitch inside, the count will go to 3-1. Elite defender is right, though, as Blomgren has shown this season that, for a freshman, really advanced defensively.
We've got some action here in the Penn State bullpen. Looked like they've got a lefty warming up, and a handful of lefties available out of their bullpen. We'll see who it is. Can't quite tell the number with the glare out there.
As Pilowitz's pitch nails the outside corner. Blomgren didn't think so. It was halfway down the first baseline, but he'll come back, and the count will go full at 3-2. And it is understandable that Penn State would need a new pitcher at this point, as Pilowitz has already gone 2 1/3 innings. Not usually a long relief guy. Now his 3-2 pitch is swung on and grounded weakly to third base, and bobbled there by Kleeman, and Blomgren will be aboard at first.
For the first time today. Courtesy of an error, but still counts.
Maybe gets a bit of a hometown scoring right there, gets the infield single, but should be an error right there, and that is what they call it, as Connor Kleeman perhaps got a little into his head because the ball was moving slowly down the third baseline, but not a hard play right there.
Yeah, it kind of is a routine play, but the turf always becomes a factor here at Ray Fisher. Most teams are just not used to playing on turf, and so those are unusual hops for infielders, especially down at the hot corner as Jimmy Kerr takes the first pitch for strike one. Down at the hot corner, the ball coming at you pretty quickly as compared to short or second.
So the first baseman, Robinson, not holding on Blomgren here with Michigan up 19-0. And Jimmy Kerr looking to get a hit, and he takes that one down low for a ball 1-1. Did have one plate appearance back in the 5th inning after he's come on. He struck out looking on that one.
Coach Bakich has been very, very eager to run this season, but I doubt we'll see any stolen bases from the Wolverines the rest of the way.
That one swung in, fouled off his foot at the plate for a foul ball. 1-2. Yeah, up 19-0. It's sort of one of those written rules of baseball that you don't hold on the runner, you don't try to advance from first to third on a ball into right field, and you don't really steal bases. So Blomgren will most likely be staying put at first base.
He is 4 for 4 this season, so he'll keep that perfect steal rate intact.
As that one swung on, and high chopper to the second baseman, Hughes only plays at first, where he goes to get the first out of the inning. Blomgren advancing to second on the play.
Good job of base running there by Blomgren, hustling it out to second base, not taking the double play as a foregone conclusion there with the high chopper to Hughes. But Kerr is cut down for the second time today.
So it will be Matthew Schmidt up to bat here for Michigan.
Schmidt in for Jonathan Engelman, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct, and then they push Jesse Franklin, who was playing first base, into center field. So a little maneuvering here as Schmidt sends the first pitch on the ground to the third baseman, Kleeman. He's up with it, throws to first, and just does get Schmidt by half a step.
So Schmidt making up for, Kleeman making up for his error about 2 plays ago.
Made that one look pretty smooth right there. Knew exactly how much time he had. Took his time fielding it and then fired over a bullet to first to get Schmidt. So 2 down here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Blomgren out at second base, and it will be Joe Pace up to bat here. Joe Pace, this is his first at-bat of the day, came in to right field, replacing Chris Bullock, as he takes that one outside. Joe Pace on the season does not have many at-bats, sporting a 160, or make that a 0.000 average in 0 at-bats. Pardon, 3 at-bats. 0 for 3 on the season.
He's been mostly a defensive replacement for the Wolverines, so good to get him some exposure here.
As he takes that one low for a ball and has worked the count in his favor, 2-0.
Joe Pace, the freshman for the Wolverines.
We've reached the point of the game where it's pretty necessary to be having those roster sheets at
Yeah,
constant availability as that pitch is low and outside 3-0.
You know, I wasn't 100% sure on Pace's class, and he's actually a redshirt sophomore, so this is his first season playing. Essentially his freshman season, but his second year with the team.
So Pilowitz trying to maneuver out of this inning here in the bottom of the 7th as his 3-0 pitch is waved and it missed. Joe Pace trying to send that one out of the park here.
And on a 3-0 count, no less, you really don't see that often, guys getting the green light on 3-0. But I suppose up by almost 2 dozen, it kind of makes sense to let them swing away if they so choose.
Absolutely, as Pilowitz doing a good job here for Penn State. He's already pitched 3 innings. As his 3-1 pitch, check swing, Pace flips the bat, runs down to first, but not before Perry Costello calls that a strike on the outside corner. So Pace showing a little bit of his newness to batting here, as didn't quite wait enough there for Perry Costello to give the sign. As it is, the count goes full to 3-2.
To be fair, Costello has been a little slow with his strike calls, and that was a little outside. Granted, you're up by a lot. It's late in the game. Pitcher's going to get some friendly strike calls.
As he takes that one down the middle for a strike. A nice breaking ball by Pilowitz, and he gets Joe Pace looking for the 3rd out of the inning. So Michigan will take their 19-0 lead to the top of the 8th inning. Just 6 outs away from preserving the shutout.
No runs, no hits. 1 error, 1 left on for the Wolverines there, and at the end of 7 innings, it's Michigan 19, Penn State 0. You're listening to WCBN Sports Radio's coverage of Michigan Wolverines baseball. I'm Max Brill, joined by Josef Gross, and we're going to get a new pitcher here into the game for the Wolverines. If I'm not mistaken,
looks like it's going to be Austin
Batka.
Absolutely.
And Batka this season has been one of Michigan's mop-up guys, so to speak. He's got a 0.00 ERA and 1.2 innings pitched, so he's pitched well. He just hasn't pitched a whole lot, and that's likely because Coach Bakich and Coach Feder are trying to see if they can get him in more high leverage situations, which this absolutely is not, but trying to get him more accustomed to pitching at a high level, pitching in Division I, and this is a perfect opportunity for him to get some run.
Absolutely. And Austin Batka, the senior left-hander, like Weisenberger, the right-hander earlier, has a bit of that crossfire delivery. Works with the breaking ball and the fastball.
Book is closed now on Jace Van Senna. Had a solid outing today. 1 inning pitched, 1 hit, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts, no earned, preserving the shutout for 1 more inning.
So Austin Batka, the kid out of Grand Rapids, Michigan, senior, stands in at 5'11", 180 pounds. Will look to get a solid inning of work in here as Michigan leads 19-0.
And Batka, the transfer, appeared in his first season for the Wolverines last year, 9 times out of the Michigan bullpen. Played for Grand Rapids Christian High School in 2014 and played for the University of Illinois at Chicago and Lincoln Trail Community College after that, prior to coming to Michigan. But Coach Bakich liking what he saw and inviting Batka to transfer. We'll see if he can make the most of that opportunity here in the 8th inning, up by 19.
As leading off will be Orndorff, the catcher who came in to replace the starting catcher, Ryan Sloniger. Orndorff looks at the first pitch high and outside for a ball.
Orndorff today, seeing the plate for the first time. 154 hitter on the season, but he does have a 476 OBP. Very respectable walk rate.
As he swings and sends that one foul. Count will even up at 1-1.
He's got 6 walks and 19 plate appearances, which is honestly very, very impressive.
That is really impressive.
Or just about 33% walk rate.
Absolutely impressive. If you can maneuver a walk here, could go even higher as that one misses inside, nearly hit him, and the count goes to 2-1.
The problem, though, is that he has struck out in 10 of his 19 plate appearances, which is a very not impressive strikeout rate. So
what you're saying is he doesn't really lift the bat off his shoulder much.
I suppose that's one way to look at it.
As now the 2-1 pitch from Batka. Just a bit low, and the count will go to 3-1.
And look, I agree, that was a low pitch. But look at the scoreboard and look at the inning. It definitely could have gone either way.
Absolutely. Maybe if it's on the inside corner. But as it is, the count will go to 3-1, and swing and a miss there by Orndorff. And now the count goes full.
So this is never something you like to see as a coach. Penn State now has more hitters in their lineup that are on the interstate than over 200. Never a good sign.
Not great, although partially helped out by those replacements as that pitch nails the inside corner. Strike 3 called. And so Batka works back from down in the count 3-1 to get Orndorff looking. And the first out of the top of the 8th inning.
Michigan has recorded their last 4 outs via the strikeout, so that's something they've done especially well today. That's their 12th of the day.
And now up to bat will be Connor Kleeman. Kleeman's 0 for 3 on the day. As he looks at that first pitch low, ball 1. Penn State on the day has more errors than hits. They have 4 errors and 3 hits. In a case of what can go wrong has gone wrong for Penn State. They're pitching, they're hitting, they're fielding. None of it's been good here today. As that pitch hits the inside corner for a strike 1-1. And it's been the exact opposite for Michigan, as they've made no errors, clean fielding day so far, 18 hits, contributing to 19 runs.
When it works, sometimes it just works, and today was one of those days where everything just clicked for Michigan.
Now the 1-1 pitch misses low and inside, count goes to 2-1.
And it's going to be interesting to see who the Wolverines throw out there on the mound tomorrow. My guess would be Ben Dragani, but the way Penn State played today, you never know who Coach Bakich could go with. We could see Jeff Criswell making his first start of the season.
A weak grounder to Nelson. He comes up with it, throwing and gets Kleeman at first for the second out of the inning. So that breaks the streak of 4 consecutive strikeouts for Michigan pitchers, but nonetheless an out recorded by Austin Batka with the help of Blake Nelson.
Yeah, Michigan has retired the last 3 hitters that they faced, 2 via the strikeout. And this 4th time through the order, usually hitters, as the game goes on, tend to improve. But no hits, not even a base runner so far, this 4th time through the order for Penn State.
As that will bring up Hendershot, who is 0 for 1 on the day as he takes that one outside for a ball. Parker Hendershot, the designated hitter, hasn't been doing a lot of hitting, though. He has had more success than other Penn State batters, drawing 2 walks on the day.
And the pitch there taken just a little inside from Batka. Count now 2-0. Batka staying loose here. Comes set. Delivers the 2-0. Taking a little high and inside. Count moves to 3-0. So Batka in danger of allowing his first base runner here in the top of the 8th.
And that Parker Hendershot looking for his 3rd walk of the day. He's been a patient hitter here so far for Penn State.
He's got a 400 OBP on the season, 9 walks and 55 plate appearances.
As he takes that one for a strike 3-1.
2 of those coming today. And he also reached base in the one at-bat where he did not get a hit. It was a strikeout, but got to first on the error.
As that one misses low for a ball. So Hendershot draws his 3rd walk of the day and that will bring up Robison. Curtis Robison, the number 5 hitter, is 0 for 3 on the day.
Number 17, Curtis Robinson.
And not exactly the sort of production you're looking for out of a first baseman.
Robinson has given the second baseman of Michigan, Akeo Thomas and Jimmy Kerr, a lot of work today. Ground out unassisted, then a 4-6-3 double play, and then a 4-3 putout in his last at-bat.
As that pitch hits the outside corner, good job framing it by Donovan.
And Donovan, probably one of the best defensive catchers on this team, if not the best. Certainly a defensive upgrade from Keener. But, you know, it's a question of whether you want defense or offense behind the dish. Usually you can't have both.
As Batka repeats the same exact pitch for the same exact result, and the count goes to 0-2.
In college, when you have catchers that can play both ways, offensively and defensively, usually they're gone in 3 years because that's going to be a first-round pick.
Absolutely, as a breaking ball is swung on and missed. A filthy pitch right there by Austin Batka gets Robinson swinging. He was probably 2 feet off from that pitch, and that is another strikeout recorded for the Michigan Wolverines pitching staff. We'll head to the bottom of the 8th inning. Michigan still leading 19-0. Again, thank you for listening to WCBN sports coverage of Michigan baseball here today. My name's Yosef Gross. Max Brill sitting to my left. A beautiful sunny day here for Michigan. Figures to be good weather throughout this entire weekend. And hopefully good results for the Michigan Wolverines.
Yeah, great. I mean, a great result so far today. And with this weather, it's just a beautiful day for a ball game. To my point, Mo Wagner and Jordan Poole in attendance today. They might have hopped out since Michigan is winning by 19, but they were here earlier. So everyone getting in on the action, enjoying some sun during final season.
Absolutely. Of course, the players also have finals themselves, so you know, you might want to win 19-0, but you might want to get over the game a little bit quicker, go get that studying done.
Generally speaking, the Michigan games have been about 2.5-ish hours this season, 2 hours, 45 minutes, and we're just about 3 hours into it now. Official first pitch was 3:59 p.m. It's 6:49 p.m. right now, so we're nearly 3 hours into this game. It looks like, despite the fact that Michigan's put a 19 spot on the scoreboard today, we're going to get this done in a pretty reasonable amount of time.
I mean, it was an absolutely lightning flash of offense, although it did happen over the first 4 innings. They put up 18 runs, put up 5 in the first, 5 in the second, 2 in the third, and 6 in the 4th inning, later tacking on a run in the bottom of the 6th inning. But those first 4 innings putting up 18 runs for Michigan, as Jesse Franklin will now step in to lead off the bottom of the 8th inning.
And Pillowitz still in the game, so going strong.
That one's hit on the ground to second. Up with it is Hughes, throws over to first, and 1 pitch, 1 out here for Pillowitz to start off the bottom of the 8th.
Franklin retired for just the 2nd time today in 6 plate appearances. But as I was saying, Jake Pillowitz has done a fantastic job here. Came into the game with an unsightly ERA of 10.64, has it all the way down to 7.98 after retiring Franklin there. He's pitched 3 2/3, allowed 1 unearned run on 2 hits.
So Harrison Salter now into pinch hit for Dominic Clementi, and he looks at that pitch on the outside corner. A nice breaking ball for strike 1. So Pillowitz absolutely saving the Penn State bullpen, and when you're looking at a Friday game of a series, that's so important. And Pillowitz has done just that for Rob Cooper and Penn State, as that breaking ball misses on the inside for a ball.
Harrison Salter on the season, a .314 hitter, 35 at-bats, 4 runs scored, and 7 RBIs to his name.
As he looks at that pitch low in the turf, and the count will go to 2-1.
Salter, sophomore, hasn't seen that much action as a catcher behind the dish so far this season, just due to the fact that Joe Donovan has been fantastic in tandem with their usual starter, Brock Keener.
Harrison Salter, as he looks at that pitch outside for a ball, 3-1, has appeared in 13 games, this being his 14th, started 7. Of course, Brock Keener taking the majority of those games, as you mentioned, starting 22 of the 25 games he's appeared in before today. And then Joe Donovan picking up some games as well, as Salter swings and misses at the 3-1 pitch.
Count runs full here with 1 out, bases empty in the bottom of the 8th.
Salter will step out of the batter's box for a minute. Now he steps back in, as the count is full on him here with 1 out in the bottom of the 8th inning. Calls timeout as cheers erupt across the way from the Michigan softball stadium.
Looks like somebody just hit a triple. See the slide head first there into third base.
So success all around for the Michigan teams, as that one is waved in and missed, and Salter goes down swinging.
So we'll have Jordan Wogu up for the second time today. Popped out to the second baseman. Conrad Hughes in his previous at-bat, after getting off to a hot start, his average is all the way down to 333, which I guess isn't saying that much because that's still a very impressive mark, but certainly not up above 600 where he was earlier this season.
Yeah, when you start off, you're going 6 for 10, solid 10 for 17. It's pretty good. Still on the season, 17 of 51. As that pitch nails the outside corner, 0-1. So Jordan Wogu, who has flashed some power so far this season, only has that 1 home run, but has hit a few extra base hits. And takes that 0-1 pitch down low, 1-1.
Pilowitz working now on his 4th inning of work, if I'm not mistaken. Today he's got 4 innings pitched, so into the 5th even, I guess. A great job from him to come in and mop up what has been a disastrous day for Penn State pitching.
As his pitch is swung on and fouled back to the screen, count will go to 1-2 on Wogu. And to your point, he's pitched 4 innings pitched, only allowed 1 run, which was unearned, to go with 4 strikeouts and no walks. So he's been pretty dominant, you could say, here for Penn State in middle relief.
And this is likely going to be the last he has to throw, the last inning rather.
As he gets set, and his 1-2 pitch is swung on and sent down the right field line, but foul.
Good job by Wogu there to stay back on that breaking pitch, not get caught leaning.
And when you talk about the potential of the Michigan team this year and maybe even to next year, Jordan Wogu's a player to look at. He's absolutely got the size, he appears to have the talent, and it'd be fun to see what he can do.
He's the heir apparent in center field.
As he swings and sends that one on the right side, weakly retreating into shallow right field is the second baseman Hughes, and he makes the catch for the 3rd out of the 8th inning. So
first 1-2-3 inning for Penn State pitching. That was it. That was the first one.
And it was the last inning they will pitch here today, as we head to the top of the 9th inning, and Michigan looking to get the final 3 outs of the day to preserve what would be a 19-0 shutout win.
Very impressive job from them today. Don't think there's much more to say than that. We can go through basically every single hitter in this Michigan lineup who started, save for Jack Blomgren, has a hit. Mikhail Thomas went 1 for 3 with a walk, scored 2 runs. Chris Bullock 3 for 5 with 2 runs. John Engelman 2 for 3 with 3 runs, 3 ribs, and a homer. Jesse Franklin 2 for 4, a walk, a hit by pitch, 3 runs, 2 RBIs. Dominic Clementi 2 for 4 with 4 runs. Miles Lewis 1 for 2 with 3 runs. And Blake Nelson 4 for 5 with a run and 6 RBIs. So it's really just been a fantastic day for Michigan hitting.
And for their pitching as well, who's thrown up 8 shutout innings so far, and it will be Ben Kaiser, the redshirt sophomore, on to pitch for the top of the 9th inning. Kaiser, not the greatest numbers on the season, sporting a 15.75 ERA so far. That, of course, only coming in 4 innings pitched. But when you give up 7 earned runs in 4 innings pitched, the ERA is not going to look great. So Kaiser looking to throw out a clean inning here today in the top of the 9th to finish it off for Michigan baseball.
Well, if there was ever a time to use Kaiser, now would be it. Because even if he does give up like 15 runs, they're still going to win. Although I hope it doesn't even get to that point.
So Max hoping for a 19-15 win here today. But Michigan looking to cap off what would be by far their most impressive win of the season. And due up to start off the inning for Penn State will be Braxton Giovadoni. He'll be followed by Mason Nato, and then by the defensive replacement come in to hit Tommy Gibson.
Book is closed on Austin Batka. 1 inning pitch, no hits, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts, and no earned runs. Michigan pitching have allowed just 3 hits the entire day.
As that one swung on and set foul just above the heads of the people in the Penn State dugout for the first strike. So Kaiser stands on the mound. He's a left-handed pitcher. He's facing the right-handed batting Giovanni. And that pitch is swung on and hit on a line to the shortstop Blomgren, who gloves it there. Didn't have to move an inch. And so like that, 2 pitches, 1 out here in the top of the 9th inning.
Great job there by Kaiser. That's exactly what you want to see coming in, attacking hitters with as large of a lead as Michigan has.
Absolutely no need to nibble right here, as into pinch hit for Mason Nato will be number 37, Chris Kramer. Kramer, the freshman, stands in at 5'10", 165 pounds out of Hershey, Pennsylvania. He looks at that first pitch, up and away, ball 1.
And Kramer on the season. They actually don't have his stats available on the scoreboard, so we'll try to find them for you.
As that pitch hits the inside corner for a strike, 1-1. Kramer on the season, as you mentioned,
he's a 200 hitter, 1 for 5, so hasn't really seen the field that much. That 1 hit, though, was a triple.
Ooh, pretty impressive
So,
as that pitch misses outside, 2-1.
Got some speed.
The kid out of Hershey, Pennsylvania, stands in and takes that pitch up high, 3-1.
And just for the record, Chris Kramer spells his name with a K like Chris Bryant, so perhaps you see where some of that triples power comes from.
Absolutely. Plenty of room to get triples here to right or left center field if you hit it in the right spot. As that pitch is way outside, not even close. And so Kramer will be aboard with a 1-out walk here in the top of the 9th inning. Penn State trying to avoid the shutout. And you know that the Michigan pitching staff wants it bad, especially Ben Kaiser, who struggles so far this season.
So Penn State has yet to... Actually, they've got 1 runner to third base all game. See if they can do it here or even push a run across with 1 out in the top of the 9th.
As it will be Tommy Gibson as he steps in and looks at a fastball in the outside corner for a strike. Tommy Gibson walked in his only plate appearance back in the 7th inning. Looking to jumpstart some offense here in the top of the 9th inning for the Nittany Lions. As that pitch hits the outside corner as well, and the count is quickly 0-2 on Gibson.
Kaiser could go the strikeout route here, but a ground ball could end the game.
Kaiser comes set, looks over at the runner at first, and his 0-2 pitch just a bit outside, says home plate umpire Perry Costello. And so we'll do it again at 1-2 right here. Kaiser working quickly. And here's his pitch. Swung on and fouled back. A nice breaking ball right there, and a good job by Tommy Gibson to just stay on it. Thought for sure out of the hand of Kaiser that Gibson was going to be flailing on that one, but Gibson stayed back and just barely missed it, fouling back to the backstop.
Yeah, the good thing for Kaiser in this at-bat is getting ahead 0-2, because then you can go to that wipeout breaking stuff.
As this pitch is swung on and drilled down the right field line, but fouled by Gibson.
That one ends up in the Penn State bullpen, which has seen quite a bit of action today.
Schmidt not holding on Nato at first. As that pitch misses inside and the count goes to 2-2. And actually that is not Nato at first. Of course, that was the pinch hitter, Chris Kramer. But Kramer not being held on at first. Again, won't be stealing second here with Michigan up 19-0. Just a bit of those unwritten baseball rules. As Kaiser's 2-2 pitch is swung on and hit on the ground to Nelson. He's up with it, goes to second for 1, on to first, safe. Just barely beat it out.
I don't know about that call, to be
Did
honest.
Tommy
It
Gibson.
Very, very, very close. Obviously, the umpire has a better angle than I do up
First,
here.
first base umpire Harry Greer said, 3 hours, not enough so far. We'll go into our 3rd hour and 2nd minute here today. as Greer clearly enjoying what he's seeing. Didn't want the game to end so soon. As the trainer for Penn State was now out to check on Tommy Gibson, who may have pulled a muscle getting down that first base line. Looks like he'll be okay, at least good enough to stay in the game.
That'll bring up Conlon Hughes. Pinch hit in the 6th inning. Came in at second base and singled to center field. Looking to keep the line moving for Penn State, perhaps push at least one run across today.
As that first pitch is a breaking ball that's not anywhere close outside for a ball. So Gibson aboard at first. We have 2 outs here in the top of the 9th inning. Ben Kaiser on the mound, looking to finish off a dominant 19-0 outing so far today for the Michigan baseball team. And now his 1-0 pitch misses down and low for a ball. At this point, it's just a game of can Penn State get 1 run across, or can Michigan preserve the shutout? As Kaiser's 2-0 pitch is way inside and will go all the way to the backstop. Going to second is Gibson. And now Penn State's got a runner in scoring position with the count in Hughes' favor at 3-0.
And Jordan Bowersox on deck, the leadoff hitter for this Penn State team, one of the team's better hitters. And you figure if Hughes can get on base, Bowersox will have a chance to push a run across. He's 1 for 4 today with that double in the 1st inning. And it looks like Penn State's going to go to the bench now and put a pinch hitter on second base in hopes of pushing that run across. Don't want to keep the injured Kramer out there.
And so Tommy Gibson will go back to the dugout, and out will be Connor Larkin. Larkin, who's listed as a right-handed pitcher on the roster, will be out to run. He's a freshman, stands in at 6'1", 205 out of Royersford, Pennsylvania. So he will come out to pinch run for Tommy Gibson, who may have tweaked something on busting it down the first base line to avoid the double play to end the game, as the 3-0 pitch misses inside as well. And so a 4-pitch walk is issued to Conlon Hughes. And Penn State's got 2 runners aboard here with 2 outs in the top of the 9th inning, trying to at least put 1 across on Michigan here today.
And nothing doing at all in the Michigan bullpen, so this is going to be Kaiser's mess to clean up. 2 outs, runners on first and second here in the top of the 9th inning for Penn State. Down to their last at-bat and looking to push across at least 1 run in today's 19-0 blowout.
Encouraging applause here from the fans at Ray Fisher Stadium, those who've stuck around to see Michigan up 19-0 as that first pitch misses inside as well. And right now it just looks like Kaiser's falling off a little bit to that third base side and pulling those pitches along with him. It's missing a lot on the inside corner to those right-handed hitters.
It's been tough for Kaiser to locate here. He does have 2 outs recorded, but has not really been in the strike zone.
As that pitch is swung on and sent into the left center field gap, it's going to split the outfielders and go all the way to the wall. That's going to score 2. Rounding second and going to third is Bowersox, and he'll be in there with a diving triple. So Jordan Bowersox does the unthinkable and gets Penn State on the board as they now trail 19-2.
A 2 RBI triple from Jordan Bowersox, ending his day as he begun it with an extra base hit. Great job of hitting there by him, and if you're Ben Kaiser, that cannot feel good to be the only Michigan Wolverines pitcher to allow any hits today, allow any runs today, my bad.
So on the 5th hit of the day for Penn State, Jordan Bowersox hits a triple to the gap, and he scores 2 runners, as it will now be Orndorff who swings and misses at that first pitch.
Orndorff on the day is 0 for 1 with a strikeout looking to keep the line moving for Penn State.
And the 0-1 pitch is swung on and grounded to Nelson. He's charging, and he cuts in front of Blomgren, who might have had the play. Safe at first will be Orndorff, and scoring is Bowersox. So Michigan falling apart a little bit here in the top of the 9th inning, you could say. I mean, giving up 3 runs, and Penn State now cuts the lead to 16.
To be fair, the backups are in, and they have quite the cushion, so I don't think there's reason to panic yet. But the 3 runs is definitely a blemish, and you are right in that you were about to say Nelson and Blomgren are the starters on the left side of the infield, so that's not something you want to see for sure.
just a little bit of a miscommunication there, as it would have been a tough play for either of them, but Blomgren got cut off by Nelson. As the first pitch from Kaiser into Connor Kleeman is outside for a ball. So Kaiser, still now there will be a little bit of action down there in the Michigan bullpen. Looks like it's, could be, not quite sure who it is, as that pitch is way high and outside, goes all the way to the backstop, and Ben Kaiser's absolutely lost his control here.
Yeah, I can tell it's Marcus Chavez out there catching whoever it is, but there's a pole in my way. Can't quite tell who the pitcher is. Though it looks like it is a righty, so I can tell you that much.
And if you're Ben Kaiser, you really hope that you don't have to get pulled here in the top of the 9th inning, up 19-3. But if he allows a few more runs, he might at this point, as Orndorff now stands out at second after that wild pitch with Kleeman up to bat. The count is 2-0 on Kleeman. And now the pitch is swung on and sent to center field. Going back is Franklin, going toward the wall, and it's over his head. It's going to bounce to the wall. He's going to throw it back to the infield, but not before Connor Kleeman is into second with an RBI double. And Ben Kaiser getting hit hard here in the top of the 9th inning has allowed 4 runs, and Penn State now trails 19-4.
I mean, it's been tough for Kaiser. That run's going to go down as unearned, as well as any runs from this point forward. And it looks like pitching coach Chris Fetter is going to come out and have a little chat with the left-hander. Didn't look like he motioned for the bullpen quite yet, although he's clearly wanting whoever's out there to get up and get loose quickly.
I believe he gave a little bit of the hand signal like, hurry up right there, as whoever it was just whipped off their sweatshirt, and now they're throwing with some more intensity.
So Fetter heading back to the dugout after the chat with Ben Kaiser, who's given up 4 runs in this inning.
So Kaiser's ERA on the season, although those last 2 were unearned, is now up to 17.36. So not a beautiful ERA right there for Ben Kaiser. So now up it will be Parker Hendershot. Hendershot 0 for 1 on the day with 3 walks. So 2 outs still here in the top of the 9th inning. As that first pitch is swung on and lined over the head of the first baseman, Schmidt. Coming around to score will be Kleeman. And Hendershot, first pitch swinging, gets an RBI single. And so now 5 runs led up by Ben Kaiser. That one unearned as well.
And I was going to say Hendershot has a good shot of drawing his 4th walk of the day, given how Kaiser's pitched, but he doesn't even want to wait that long. Lines a single down the right field line, and he's got his first RBI of the day.
So before this is over, Penn State might be making it a respectable score, as if anything, they're really improving their runners in scoring position batting, especially with 2 outs, doing most of the damage here with 2 outs in the top of the 9th inning. As that one is way up and inside, and ducking beneath it is Robinson for ball 1.
Joseph, to be fair, I don't really think there's anything that respectable about a 19-5 blowout, but salvaging some sort of hope here at the end and some dignity, putting a 5 spot up here in the 9th and looking to add more.
As that one swung on and foul tipped back to the backstop. And you are right in that no one's on the Penn State roster is going to feel good about losing 19-5, but there's something about not getting shut out that just mentally makes you think you can get a hit or 2 off the opposing pitchers, even if you're facing Ben Kaiser or not Ben Dragani.
Completely agreed, and it's worth noting.
As that one swung on and fouled to the backstop, and the bat of Curtis Robinson flies over the first base dugout. Those are his Penn State teammates, and lodges in the netting behind there. Some fans prying at it, trying to get it out. And finally they flip it back into the Penn State dugout. And Robinson has to go get himself a new bat.
It's definitely worth mentioning, though, as I was saying before the bat went flying, that Michigan is being outscored 5-1 here in the second half of this game.
It is worth mentioning, as the count is 1-2, and here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, ball game. A nice round of applause for Ben Kaiser, who did let up 5 runs here in the top of the 9th inning, but as it is, Michigan gets the blowout 19-5 win here today. The winning pitcher will, just getting through those 5 innings, will be Tommy Henry. Losing pitcher will be Justin Hageman. Henry now 7-0 on the season. Hageman goes to 2-5. And overall, just an absolutely dominant performance for the Michigan Wolverines. They put up 19 runs on 18 hits. 1 error, and 8 left on base. For Penn State, they get 5 runs, all of them here in the top of the 9th inning, on 6 hits, and they committed 4 errors and left 9 on base. And so for Michigan, a nice way to kick off this weekend series. And what can you say about this Michigan team going forward, Max?
3-hour, 12-minute marathon, so to speak. I mean, 19 runs in a game will do that to you, but their 18th consecutive win here for the Wolverines, looking to add 2 more before the weekend ends against Penn State, who now sits at the bottom of the Big Ten Conference with a 1-12 conference record. Michigan improving their conference record to 9-0, and if they keep hitting like this, it's going to be hard to ever beat them. Like, they might never lose again. You're not going to average 19 runs a game, but Jesse Franklin has really stepped into his own as a freshman on this team, leading the team in home runs with 7, and he's only started in 20 games. He's going to be a power source for years to come. Jonathan Engelman doing more of the same, hitting a home run in this game to improve his season total to 5. Wolverines did it all today. I'm going to be interested to see if they come back tomorrow and are able to keep the bats going and not have that sort of hangover that they had in the second half today, where they only scored 1 run in the last 5 innings.
Impressive all around for the Michigan Wolverines as they extend their win streak to 18 straight games to improve to 22-11 on the season. Again, for Yosef Gross and Max Brill, thank you for listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan baseball. Earlier in the game was Austin Falco and Jerry Gusenberg. Again, want to thank you for listening, and we'll see you back here tomorrow as Michigan baseball takes on Penn State. As always, have a good night as Michigan extends their win streak to 18 games. The final score here, Michigan 19, Penn State 5.